I just saw you were illegal because you had turned 18. It was an under 18 tournament.
I mean,
Miyagi
these people stole the black belt.
They stole you should have, none of this should have been allowed.
But he was also drinking scotch in front of this teenager, talking about World War II.
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. We got a full house. 15-year-old Steve is back in the motherfucking building. Una behind the glass. Pavs and Jackie. The family is...
it's a big squad.
Big. It's big for us, man. I mean, you go back to, it was probably a period of time where it was, just me and you for a little bit, right? I mean, it was me, you, and my brother. And then by the time my brother left, I guess Jackie and Nick had kind of, gone back in. But, yeah, I mean, from 3 to 6, 3 to 5 is it's a big difference. So we got a whole team here. I am covered in ketchup.
Okay, I hadn't seen anything. I was just going to be like, what's all over you?
Covered in ketchup.
How does this happen?
First of all, what a stroke of luck, I guess. I'm wearing red pants the day that I get covered in ketchup. I come to work. I go to the kitchen. I get a bagel. Not a bacon, egg, and cheese. No salt, pepper, ketchup. I just had a bagel and cream cheese. I come. I sit down. I eat my bagel. I do a 1 Minute Man video. And then I was like, it smells like ketchup. And I look down. And this, I mean, you can see it. But when it was dark and wet, it looked like I was covered in blood. And I was like, I'm looking around. You never know in here. I was like, did I get booby trapped? Did I sit on a bacon, egg, and cheese? What is going on? So I grabbed Jackie to film it, and I was like, we got to crack the case. We got to figure this out. And so I retrace my steps. I go back to the kitchen, and I was like, okay, here's where I leaned over the table. I'm thinking maybe I bumped up against it. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then Jackie's like, what's that? And there was a ketchup packet on the floor, and I must have just stepped on it and popped, and I was just covered in ketchup, and it smelled like that ketchup.
Did you see the video though that I sent? It was like you look back, you go, what?
It was gonna. I'm happy she saw that. It was gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. I was looking around, how do you just get covered in ketchup?
Red rum.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't hear it pop or anything, but I must have just. And it was on the cabinets. I mean, it exploded.
That's this place is it's not upkept. There's not a lot of upkeep.
No. I mean, it was next to the dumpster and
dude,
garbage can.
They were keeping track of how long there were in the other bathroom. There was a cockroach in the middle of the floor, and they just kept track for how long it was there for. It was 2 weeks. It was just
dead cockroach.
Very obvious that no one cleaned the bathroom for 2 weeks. It was just there's a cockroach in the middle of the floor, and everyone's like, "Cockroach is still there."
That is fucking disgusting, man. That is actually fucking gross.
Do we think the R studio is the grossest?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably up there.
I don't
it's
think
not the girls.
Banana would've.
Son of a Boy Dad is kind of
that could be close, yeah.
Yeah.
They can't be great, right?
It's not
But
great.
we've been in here the longest and lived in it the most, and are here.
Literally lived in it at times.
Yeah, right. Slept in here, lived in here. It's not great. It's Jackie's fault.
Why? Is it always...
I don't know. I feel like you're
And
supposed
we got
to clean
new
this.
interns to blame.
Get your interns in line, man.
Guys, seriously, clean it up.
I feel like I see that you've gone into your summer Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah.
It's a good fit.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
And your shoes. You want to put your shoes on?
Yeah, I'm
display?
a flats girly. It's a pretty big, shift. So just don't be alarmed. If a new personality starts to come out.
What tanning lotion are we using here?
Oh, okay. I'm so happy you asked. So everyone, I've tried out a lot of the tanning lotions. It's just a good old CVS brand. But right now, don't look closely because I haven't shaved my legs and it's a bad tan right now. It's been kind of.
I was gonna say I wouldn't shout out this brand.
Oh. Okay. First of all, my skin's a little dry. Stop looking at my legs.
I was gonna say I think it looks fine. I don't have.
If you look up close, it's really not.
Okay.
But today's supposed to be the last day of the tan, so it's I need to exfoliate. Just don't worry about it, guys. Tomorrow I'm gonna be looking good.
Is there anything else we should worry about?
What?
Is there anything else we should worry about?
Yeah. Okay. Can we do that?
Yeah. So we've been teasing this for a week. I can't even remember what the thing was. So refresh my mind.
Yeah. It's just phrases. I just asked ChatGPT to come up with phrases, kind of like.
Oh, speaking of.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Look what the cat dragged in, or I only saw the first one. I tried not to look at any of them, but not my circus, not my monkey is the only one I know that's in there. And then So
and then what do we do with it?
we pick it. We don't tell anybody, and then we have to try and slip it into conversation stealthily. And if you get caught, then you have to pluck out 6 arm hairs.
6 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I also
that was
thought
we
of-
were trying to come up with the punishment. And Jackie was like, I don't know, like pluck your arm hairs. I was like, that's it. Obviously, that's what it's gonna be.
I feel like that's just
I have a
good.
different punishment that I would like to do. I don't know if we don't have to do it for this. I think this is a funny punishment, and I think someone should have to do it at some point. I think we should all have to do it at some point.
Okay.
I think it's funny. It is like like sometimes when say someone performs at the Grammys and then like their local mic leaks. Like the mic, like they were
Oh,
actually
yeah.
like they were dubbed or they were lip syncing, but like you can actually hear them being like, "Girls, they wanna have
Yeah.
fun." So we have to do a local mic concert. So like we'd have to dance and sing and as much as we can, and then and we'll put on like 5 songs, say, and then it gets edited into like a 1-minute clip that can never go anywhere because we can't put out.
I was gonna say we can't do
Yeah.
any music.
But just picturing like Pavs, Jackie, Kevin, myself, anybody trying to dance and sing. There's no routine. There's no choreography. You just got to
Yeah.
put on a concert. You got to do it on this table. That just came to me. You got to do it on this table.
This table's not gonna hold. This table's like way fair.
and then it gets edited, and it's just our voice that goes out.
Okay.
Oh, because we can't play the music.
You can't
so
play
it's
the music, so it's just our voice of like, and you don't get to learn the lyrics. It's just like we put on songs that you probably know, and you got to sing and dance as best you can to say 4 or 5 songs.
Kevin and I are pretty staunchly, we're not going to sing and dance. Like, I think that you're kind of always trying to.
Feitelberg just wants to do this.
I think you
It's
just,
like, wouldn't it be funny and really good for content if we did a little karaoke concert?
That would be.
You get up there in a dress and high heels and you just like sing Taylor Swift. Wouldn't that be funny? We should all do that. I'll go first and
No,
second and third.
The people who are not performing, they choose the music, they choose the songs. You're just there.
and then
you
those
just-
people have to just sit there and they watch. You
and
have
they
like an
watch.
audience.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. Okay, I see the vision. I don't want to, but here's the thing. Also, it's like we know this. We're not the team to do things right now. First of all, I want it on the record. We're doing something. Six arm hair is much easier than like doing a full concert type thing. I say let's ease into it.
Okay.
But I like this idea and we'll do it. But I just don't what.
It's just like so hard to work in naturally.
Yeah, I know. That's the point. Yeah, mine is. So I'm
I'm just gonna grab a second one. I will do my first. I just want to see
Okay.
like if they're all as hard as this one, or if I grabbed a bad one. Okay. Not the first one.
Do you guys want to? It might be kind of obvious.
Well, yeah. Steve's gonna say one thing, and he's gonna be like.
I'll get the tweezers today.
Okay, so it says use.
No, don't
Oops. Yeah.
say it.
I could get 6 arms hands, no problem.
No.
As one.
I still want to play. I still want to play. My game I invented, my taboo game.
Okay, what is it?
It's like pyramid, where you have to get somebody to say a word. You know what I mean? Like a clue giver and then a word sayer, right?
Clue giver, word sayer. Okay.
But so let's say it's our turn, right? And our word is meat. Okay?
Okay.
And let's say we were playing without other KFC Radio people, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is you have to get your partner to be able to say the word, but if the other teams
Meat. So we
can
win.
say the word too, then it cancels out. You don't get points. So if I were to say something like, you cook this when you're doing barbecue, everybody would be like, meat, right? Or they could guess that. But if we were playing with people who didn't know you and I say, you wear sweatshirts that have this on it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Only me and you would know meat.
It's kind of like the TikTok trend where it's like people hold up their phone. Okay.
But if the other team can also guess it like you don't get any points. So it's basically like a best friend test. It's like, do
But
we have our own inside?
Yeah. Do we have enough like inside jokes with each other?
It doesn't have to be inside jokes, but it could just be like things that I know you know that like if I were to be like, we always joke that you're not
Long
from
Island.
Yes, but other people might not know that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But so if you say it like in a general way, anybody could guess it. So you have to like, how well do you know somebody? It's like a best friend test. I don't know what the name of it would be.
It also reminds me of the other game that we were gonna play, the picking straws. short end of the stick. I think we were gonna
I
call
love
it.
that one.
Yeah.
What's that one?
The one we played at the
Airport.
Delta Lounge at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
I
what,
had a shower.
like-
It was just short straws, and it was whoever had to. We all wanted to shower, but
I didn't
like
want
none of us really wanted to, and it was whoever got the short straw had to.
So
shower.
we just had to
And that
pick.
was Pavs. Was it you?
That was
guys?
me, yeah.
Yeah, and I walked right in with him.
I think all of us ended up showering, right?
I
Did you?
didn't
You
shower,
didn't.
no.
Boozer.
We just
we
shower
I'll be
at
honest,
the
I
airport.
didn't love my shower.
Oh, I loved it.
It was just I
Loved
kept.
it.
You know what it was like?
It was a delight.
It was like
I was on the phone in my shower.
you know when you can hear when you're staying in a hotel and you can hear all the doors opening and closing, so you never really relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like the big lock opening, the big lock closing, and I was just like showering, but I could constantly hear doors opening.
Yeah.
And I kept being like,
Well, yeah, you're in a very public shower now.
I was like, is that my shower? Is that my
Yeah.
door? And I was like, no, you locked it. And I never really like chilled.
I was at a wedding this weekend, and my parents were there. It was a family wedding, and they were right above or below my hotel room. And my mom goes to me, so don't be making any noise. And I was like, Jesus Christ, Ma. So I turned my porn down. Thanks for the tip, Ma. That was awkward as shit.
Dude, I had Dana's wedding this weekend.
Were you guys in separate weddings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is such like a Massachusetts thing that I think at least I don't know. The Dana got married at a very nice place, and everyone I've spoken to at the wedding or outside of the wedding, who I told where the wedding was, everyone's reply. So Peyton Pritchard got married. I'm like the 9th best player on the Celtics. Like that's the biggest thing about this
But
place.
you know, for Dana, that was probably like, fuck yeah. Peyton
But it
Pritchard
was,
got
I want to be clear. Like, it wasn't just like the people at because I was in Massachusetts all weekend. I was in 3 separate locations.
Oh, they all knew that?
I was like, yeah, I was at the Witchmere Beach Club. They're like, oh, Peyton Pritchard got married there. Like, why do you all know that?
It's because of his
What?
wife. It's because his wife is very famous.
Oh, really?
She's,
Oh, I didn't
she's
know
way
that.
more famous and richer than him.
who is she? Oh.
I forget her name. Do you know?
some.
Emma
influencer.
McDonald. Yeah. She's,
Oh, okay. So that makes more sense,
She's a
I
famous
guess.
TikToker. Yeah. Model.
Well, that solves that one. Dude, I spent time with Eddie this weekend.
What a gem.
Gotta be my favorite person.
Did
on
you
the
see he
planet.
brought that pizza to Vindog?
I did not. He had told me he was with Vindal the
Just
night
like
before.
I actually it made me like check myself where I was like I would never do that in a million years. I wouldn't think to do that.
Dude.
That was a really nice thing he did.
I was driving home today and I was just thinking about him and I was like, there are probably 100 people at Barstool who make their money who are professional talkers. None of us are better than Eddie.
Yeah, he's great.
The way he's so engaging, but he's like he doesn't pressure you, and he's so fucking funny.
And that accent, man, I love
Dude,
it.
he did. I know. Like last time I talked about him, I did like his face thing. He did the same thing again today, where he's like, he was talking about all the places he'd been in Massachusetts, and he's like,
With a
been to
smile.
Linwood Cafe, and I was like, no. He goes, good pizza. Like the way he says,
Yeah, but Ben, you should
hey,
be. You
make a
should
good
go.
pie.
He's also just somebody that you like. You just want. You root for him.
I enjoyed being at the wedding and watching Eddie operate. Because he would just walk around like I don't even know how I don't think he knew the people. Like he would just be at a new cocktail table talking to new people, and I was like, that's fucking awesome.
I
Like,
was
he's-
so mad when he won Survivor.
Well, it was just like the second I knew that I was up against him, I was like, oh, so I don't have it.
I was like rooting hardcore for Jackie, and then he gave his speech, and I was like, Eddie just won.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I was like, Jackie's gonna vote for Eddie.
Yeah.
I was down the Cape, so I caught up with a buddy of mine, and he was telling me a story about how he was just in Puerto Rico, and the cabbies wouldn't really talk to him, and he was like, they always give him one word answers. Obviously, there's a language barrier, but that started to bother him. He wanted to talk to him more, so he would ask every cab he got in. He would just go, Bad Bunny or Daddy Janky, and they would go nuts.
I was gonna say, that's all it takes.
And they'd start. He goes, and they like unload all this stuff. And he doesn't speak Spanish, but then he would just go, Pero no hay Bad Bunny sin Daddy Janky. And they would go, es verdad, es verdad. And they just be like, you got a point. You got.
I would go Pitbull.
The only reason I even got that story was because I had asked him. I was just like, yeah, like what have you been up to lately? Like, what's your new thing you're doing? And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of Bob Dylan. And he was like, I've been listening to a lot of Daddy Yankee. This is G. And I was like, what do you mean?
What is he doing listening to Daddy
I was like,
Yankee?
what do you mean even listen? I thought he was kidding. I started laughing. And I was like, no, it's not. Like Bob Dylan makes more sense. He's like, no, I've actually been listening to Daddy Yankee.
I would argue There's not a white person in the world who listens to Daddy Yankee. Like, you're at a bar, you're on the dance floor, you hear Gasolina, you know, reggaeton comes on, you know it, you'll sing it, you'll dance to it. But to be like, let me get my Spotify out, Daddy Yankee, like scroll through a couple hits. Like, if you're playing a deep cut Daddy Yankee, that is fucking insane.
8 a.m.
Reggaeton 2000. I mean, like, listen, these are all Nina Sky, Move Your Body, Sean Paul, I'm Still in Love with You. I don't know that other one.
Which was Daddy Yankee, Gasolina, and
Yeah. I mean,
mean,
man, there that like reggaeton movement and Sean Paul in like the 2000s was.
I've been going through kind of like a Big X the Plug phase, and like I just feel so white listening.
Oh my God,
It's just so
you
funny.
are the
Oh,
whitest
yeah,
of the
that's
white.
right.
That
Yeah,
was
that's right.
my favorite Jackie moment ever.
yeah, I
Nobody
didn't-
utilizes the invisible ink like Jackie.
yeah.
She's always hiding gossip.
Do you do that a lot?
Oh,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
least to me, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll, you know, if it's like somebody at work, there's some tea, there's some gossip, there's some news, something. It's like, it doesn't actually do anything. People just, you know, but when
It just makes me feel a little bit better.
I get that.
when I saw, so I posted it on social, but if you don't follow along with me, Jackie texted me with the invisible ink. This is Saturday at noon. Who is, and I don't know if it's okay for me to say this, and then the next text was the invisible ink, or is it just a term? And I didn't hit it right away, and I was like, what could this be? Like, a name, that's a word, that's a term. And then she said she thought it was a slur. But it was Jigga, Jay-Z's nickname.
You say it. You can, right? Like, is it fine?
It is. It's funny because like if you switch that J with a W, people are a lot more
Yeah, I was
hesitant.
gonna say.
I feel like all just like double G's are off the table. Maybe like
I say the word larger. I don't even say bigger. I'm just like that is larger than. But then so I said it's Jay-Z, and she said, oh, see, that's confusing because he talks about himself in the third person.
they all talk about themselves in the third person. It's kind of like
I thought it was just a good friend of his. She said. I don't know. I just hear it all the time in songs, but then I looked it up and it said that it was a slur. What said that it was a slur?
I don't know. I looked it up, and then it was like, you can't say that. And then Kevin posted, and I was like, well, I don't want to get
Yeah,
canceled.
then she DM'd me on the post, being like, wait, can I say this or not? Well, it's out there
He didn't
now.
answer me at all. Anyways, got to the bottom of it though.
Yeah, I think she sent me that, and then I screenshotted that and posted that. I mean, it's rooted in. I think we know why. You know, he's Jay-Z, and he's taking the J.
Oh, I actually didn't put that together.
I
think I did
I
either.
think.
yeah, that was just kind of like.
I mean, he's got a song called "Jigga My Neighbor," so like it's all connected.
Yeah.
But that was maybe my favorite Jackie moment ever.
Do we ever come up with our rap names? Like, I think.
Well, aren't you supposed to make a country
also,
song? as well?
Una made a great rest of the rap for me. Do you want?
I did like the creepiest thing I've ever done, and all I had downloaded for my flight to move to New York was the episode where Jackie was starting her rap song, and then I lost internet and I didn't have the whole episode downloaded, so all I heard was like 2 of the bars she said, and all I had was my notes app, and I was like, I'm gonna get to
wrote a
town,
song?
and I kind of
It was like
It's
kind
kind
of
of
it was like
good.
really
You wanna hear
good.
it?
Well, let's
You
hear
want to get
it.
on the table?
fuck.
You gotta perform.
No, I'm not gonna like rap it, but I'll just say it so you can hear the bars. Let's see. Okay, so I used your initial idea. I said big shoes to fill, but I wear them like slippers.
Genius.
All-star
Genius.
MVP, like I'm Harden on the Clippers.
Wait. You. When did you
No,
start? That's
her.
Yeah,
okay.
that was me. Want to come for me, then you better reconsider. I'm murdering the track. Call me Jackie the Ripper. I slip
Bars.
on your big shoes just to take out the trash. That was something you said.
Well, that was it.
Watch my first rap song turn into a smash. I'll say what I want, fuck the backlash. J-Nick's on the track and I'm about to make a splash.
Bars.
That was
Bars.
good.
Yeah. Anyway.
So like she's your ghostwriter. You have to perform.
Here's the issue: is like now that you've contributed. Again, I'm barely making lunch money with this thing, and now I got to give you half the proceeds.
No, you can take it.
Yeah,
No,
well, that
no,
was
no.
obviously a
That was
made-up
all
line.
you.
What?
That was a made-up line. That was your line.
No, it wasn't.
That wasn't?
What? Barely making lunch money? No, because
I'm barely making lunch money. I got to give you the proceeds. You just said that with your own head. What? That's not your line?
Well, put it on the next one then.
Yeah, that was an accidental bar, I guess. But no, because I was saying.
You just said with your own brain, I'm barely making lunch money. I gotta give you half the proceeds.
No, I'm saying because that was the whole point of the song. Was I was like, I know I'm not gonna like make $100,000 from the song. I'm gonna make a little bit of lunch money. So I would say, like, from this song, like, I'm playing it overnight. I'm barely making lunch money, but now you can get the proceeds.
So, are you serious? That's not your line?
It's not my line.
Damn, I thought I fucking sniped that.
That would be good.
That has to be the name of the song, by the way. Like, lunch money in parentheses, and you get half the proceeds. The lunch money song is going to be a smash.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, that's how the music industry works. You're the star, she's the ghostwriter. She's the
It's
intern.
like,
you're the host. She
yeah.
just has to
It's
do
like a
that
sandwich
for
with
you.
no
and
bread. You can't get one.
She gets writer credits. She'll be on the Spotify. You know, say Uno.
No, sorry, what? Did you hear it?
No, what'd you say?
It's like a sandwich with no bread.
Oh,
You can't do
fuck.
one without the other.
I didn't hear it. You didn't say it.
Pick another one. Wait, Steve, can you?
It's like is that a phrase? It's like
Because I asked.
Wait, that's a question of mine. Are these phrases or you made these up?
I said like,
'Cause
can
I've
you do
never
some,
heard that's a
I said,
sandwich
can
with no
you
bread.
do
No.
niche phrases and also can you freestyle a little bit? And like, I think that they just kind of came up with their own. So like a sandwich with no bread. They said it means, you know, one.
I mean,
without the other.
I can
Yeah,
infer what it means, but it's not a very. I don't think anyone's ever been like, I'll have a sandwich, no bread. I mean, I guess if you're.
It's not the coolest one. It's no, I'm barely making lunch money, but
Today's KFC Radio is brought to you by Blue Chew. Harder dicks makes for an easier life. What do you think of that one? No, wait, no. Harder, hard and easy don't go to. Yeah, no, hard and easy go.
Harder dicks make for an easier life. Yes.
Yeah, hard and easy. Here's what Blue Chew's doing. They have taken the quick, fast-acting medicine, and they've combined it with the extended release long-term. So you have like Viagra plus Cialis, boom, put it together into one Blue Chew chewable. Now, for a reminder, Blue Chew is the original OG chewable tablet to get your dick hard. And now the fact that they've combined the short term and the long term together means that it's like the Infinity Stones. It's like they put all the power together into one powerful Blue Chew chew. And so your life is that much easier by getting harder when you go to BlueChew.com. Right now they got a special deal for the listeners. You get your first month of Blue Chew for free when you go to BlueChew.com and use promo code KFC. All you're going to do is pay $5 in shipping. You can get the tablets sent right to your door. They're discreet. They're easy. You go online. You talk to a licensed professional. They approve you, and they start shipping it right to your door. Everything's discreet, everything is easy, and everything's affordable, especially when you use that promo code KFC. So go to BlueChew.com, use promo code KFC, first month free, just pay the $5 in shipping, get more details and important safety information, and thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring the show.
Oh, you want to hear a crazy story?
yeah.
My buddy moved from Northern California to Texas this weekend. But he was away, so he hired a moving company to do the moving. And he got to his apartment on Saturday or whatever. All his stuff was there. Very lucky, fantastic. But there was one box that he didn't recognize. And he opened that box up. And what was it? But a dead man. It was just some guy's fucking ashes in his house.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, not a body, not a body.
I was like, wait a second.
Dude,
This is about to be like an international story if you've done.
But the so he reached out to he found the family and then reached out to the son on LinkedIn and was like, "Hey, I just got home and I'm sorry to say this, but I think I have your father here." And the guy replied like, "My sister's moving this weekend. I know she would be unaware of any missing packages. Can you please provide photo authenticity?" And Pat just sent back that picture. And the guy just went, "I don't know what to say other than thank you." Dude.
Wait. So he was moving. How did this? And he got their box,
He hired a moving company.
right?
And I guess somehow they...
Oh, so they were moving, he was moving, and like their shit got put together.
Exactly, yeah.
Got it.
And he had said that he had emailed them earlier because in his unpacking, had seen that they ripped one of his paintings, his favorite painting, he says. And so he emailed them like, "Yo, you guys fucked up my painting. What's the deal with this? Blah, blah, blah." They didn't reply to that. And so like 2 or 3 days later, he's opening more boxes, sees that one, and just sent an email that said, "Oh, you didn't want to reply to the rib painting? Well, I suggest you fuckers handle this."
I don't know what to say except thank you. It's great. I've got your dead father here. That's unreal, man.
Dude, if I moved into a new apartment and there's just ashes, I would leave. I'd be like, I need to get a new. I'd fucking bounce like a check in Vegas. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
That's a bad.
That's
habit.
it. That was it.
Oh, fuck! You're also always saying like that's the color. Horse of a different color.
That was well executed. But that was it.
I wasn't even gonna bring it up. The only reason I brought that story up was to say if I moved into
just to say.
As soon as I read it, I was like, how can I bounce like a check in Vegas?
Wait, what is it? Bounce like a check in Vegas?
Yeah.
That's a tough one to work in there. I don't know how that would ever work. What else do we got? Did you see?
I can get my hairs out.
No, because you did it. I don't think you got called out.
I did get called
you
out.
did
Kevin
get called
did.
out. You called
That's
out.
2.
I mean, Feitelberg only has about 7 on his
Yeah.
on his arm. You're about to pluck 99% of the hair on your body. Ugh,
2.
It's disgusting. There's something about this that rubs
I
me
think
the wrong
these
way.
fingers are like
5.
what?
Well, 2 and then 2 is 4. Then another one was 5.
I don't trust you.
Mathematic expert
I don't
over
care.
here.
You can take them. It doesn't even hurt. You want to take them out?
Maybe we need a new. We might need punishment.
Maybe like Jackie should just throw a bag of chips in your face.
Oh no! Yeah. Do you think that was the most mad at me you've ever been? Don't answer that question. Actually, don't answer that question.
No, because it might be though. But yeah, we can go through the list of all the times.
Yeah.
There's plenty of times. Yeah, no, I'm more mad at like that than like if you fuck up at work for the millionth time. That's like whatever. But just wrecking my face.
You said to.
I don't think I did.
It was like it was supposed to hit you in the face. It was you were mad because you kept missing his face.
And then you were like,
But then it's too strong.
Oh
My
man,
fault.
Charlie. Speaking of fucking up, Pavs first fuck up ever.
Wait.
Well,
oh yeah. Well, I mean, one could argue that it almost became a good thing because it became like material.
It's like everything. We're like way worse is way better than
Yeah.
middle of the road.
yeah.
It was also not that it would have been good either way, but once I thought it was just wallpaper. I didn't realize.
see that.
Me too.
Right.
So that's where I actually think that's where he did a bad job, is that I didn't even know what it was. So wait, so if you don't know, so last episode came out and we promoted it on social, and usually it's like a picture of us like photoshopped with like the person we're talking about or the topic we're talking about, and this was like a stock photo of just a man and a woman arguing in like a living room.
Yeah.
And I was like, this sucks. and we were like, it's got to be Una or the interns. Like, somebody did this. Like, that's new. And I would imagine we all had Pavs at the bottom of the list. And he was like, nope, it was me. But it was the story John had told was about a guy from Reddit who was discharging his gun left and right in the house. And so the wall in Pavs' Photoshop picture had bullet holes in it. But I don't think anybody recognized that right away. So it just looked like one of those Shutterstock pictures.
I knew it was AI, but
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what this is even
actually
about.
well, it was Photoshop AI. It wasn't ChatGPT.
But Feits went in on Twitter
Yeah.
and like,
No.
On me.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
It
we
was
thought
like
you
some
were-
intern asked for a boring way to promote a podcast.
I didn't
and
go
was
in on
like-
anything. I just said what it was.
But it wasn't.
But it was. I said who was wrong. But it's still that is what it is.
Sure, yeah.
but Pavs having to be like, it was me.
Like that
The
whole
voice
thing,
note and everything.
Like before sending that, I'll give the quick backstory. I usually post a YouTube thumbnail. I woke up, YouTube wasn't allowing me to download the thumbnail, and I'm like on my way to work, so I don't have a laptop with me. So I just quickly kind of just do it on my phone, and then I felt really guilty doing it. But like this will be a placeholder because it takes me an hour to get to the office. So
Does it really?
Yeah. Well, for my old apartment, I just moved into.
I was
new
gonna say, not for
apartment.
long.
Not
Yeah.
for long. Yeah. It took me 20 minutes this morning. It was a breeze. I lived in Alphabet City.
It takes an hour?
It took like 45 minutes. Yeah.
Wow. In Manhattan.
In Manhattan. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
The
disaster.
worst city in the world.
But yeah, then I was just like, I could rather wait an hour and not promote the show till, because I always promote at 9, not promote it till 10.
Yeah.
So like, I'll just have this as a placeholder, and no one will notice.
I
minutes
texted
later,
John
that
on the side, then John tweeted about it. It was noticed.
Oh, it was the thing. I was like sick the whole day about it. I was
Wait,
like,
Oh,
I'm gonna-
that's crazy.
I'm gonna defend Pabs
because
a
of the
little bit.
ChatGPT thing.
But anyone like I wasn't mad. I was just saying what it was. Like,
No, it wasn't like sick over that. It was sick. I was like, I felt guilty doing it, and then I was like, fuck, that was a fucking mistake.
Well, it's so funny because I understand that that ChatGPT can make like really good graphics now, like on the fly. But it's all like relatively speaking. Those pictures still like stink. You know what I mean?
It's like
But yeah, John's exact tweet was, I don't know what this is, but there's a new episode out today. I assume a new intern asked ChatGPT for a boring nonsense way to promote a podcast? Question mark.
see, that's why I like. That's not how I meant it at all. I
But-
just meant it like, yeah, there's a new episode out today. This promo sucks, but like there is an episode out today.
But people were like, fights coming for heads today.
Oh, no,
I knew
that's not-
exactly
I was
how
like
you
laughing
meant
when
it
I
out,
typed
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I didn't mean it like that.
I was more sick over the fact that Jackie tweeted it was Pabs. Now people know that I use ChatGPT. No, it was more just embarrassing.
I also would like to defend, and nobody's preying on your downfall more than me. But, I didn't think it was that bad.
It was just boring.
Nobody
It was-
wishes the worst for you.
There's no context. You didn't know like what it was. Like, what's the episode about? What is this picture about?
Like if there was a
But-
screenshot of the Reddit
the bullet
conversation
holes in
with
the-
the bullets, like the and then you saw the bullets, like
Maybe if the bullet holes in the back were just more,
I didn't even see the bullet.
yeah,
holes.
I saw it. I just thought it was well.
because we can't show guns, and it's
That's
kind
part
of like
the problem, yeah.
it was trying to be like a little bit like, oh, what is this? Granted, it looked like wallpaper.
If I like that, I don't know. I was not. If I was mad, I would just text you. I wouldn't like make a
public
like a
scene
spectacle
about it.
Like,
yeah.
But if people thought that's what it was, and again, the point is to get. It was arguably the best promo we've had in
Got
a long time.
400,000 impressions. So. And I planned this all around. The whole time I knew this was going to happen, so that's why I did this. This was all planned.
It's so funny because it's like if you could just fake that stuff all the time, it'd be great, but you really can't.
Right.
Like if today, for this episode, you tried to do another one, it would be like, nah, that's
yeah.
now
Right.
you're trying too hard. Now we notice it. Whatever. It's gotta your stupidity just has to be natural. Otherwise, it's not effective. That's why Jackie works all the time.
No, I was I was excited for your first fuck up. I was gonna go all in, but like I can't really.
I mean, you
even-
said that first fuck up. Is that true? You've never fucked up?
First month as an intern, I deleted Taylor Tomlinson's ATI.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I
that was the
really
big one,
was an
yeah.
ATI deleted. Yeah.
Right.
Pretty
But
clean
didn't
slate ever
I thought that was
since,
a
though.
prank.
No, that was
actually
you.
did
You're
delete
not pranking me because like.
Oh,
Nick
we
told
said it
you.
was gonna be like.
Yeah.
What did we say?
You said it was like Taylor was texting me about how excited she was. She's
Yeah.
gonna play it before the Garden.
Right. You're gonna play it at the Garden, and now it's
Like-
gone. That was great. That was a good one.
That was good.
He was on the struggle bus that time.
Jackie was like,
That was my phrase.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Goddamn.
I would say something like that.
But that is a
that's a
phrase.
He was on the struggle bus.
That was good.
Thanks. 6 arm hairs for everybody.
Yeah, I guess that's the rule, right?
Yep. Get him out, everybody.
Everybody.
Oh, I just got like 6 in one burst right there.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah. We probably could have come
You,
up
you
with
can
it.
you can hear mine get.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm able to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a
You-
quick pause to pee. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
While John's here, I guess we can just do our little Knicks post-mortem.
Sad.
It is sad. It is sad. I was just arguing with Dave on the rundown about how much people relish beating the Knicks, and they're trying to like deny that that's the case. It's like everybody either says like the Knicks are irrelevant and haven't won and they don't mean anything, but then when they win, Halliburton's making videos, Miles Turner's posting Family Guy clips, they're tweeting at Ben Stiller, Dave's making shirts, like. You wouldn't be doing this for the Pistons, for the.
It's
Bucks,
almost as if
for the-
they beat like the defending champions or like a
Yes,
or like a legacy
yes.
team.
And
Yeah.
that's and then Dave was like, well, you bring it upon yourselves by being. I'm like, yeah, listen, we have a very passionate, crazy, wild fan base, and it drives other people crazy. Admit that though. Admit that it drives you nuts. And I would do this for any team. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. If the fucking Atlanta Hawks,
It would mean nothing.
You wouldn't
It would
say
mean
a
nothing.
word.
No one would watch.
The
And
Orlando
those-
Magic, so it's a weird dynamic where it's like I do understand the people saying like why are they the Mecca? They haven't won in so long. All that's true, but there's just I don't know what it is. It may and I think it actually just ties back. I do know what it is. It's the city. It's New York. It's just like New York envy or whatever. But there's a reason why Kobe, Jordan, and LeBron always play good at the Garden. There's a reason why people get up for these moments. They hate the celebrities. They hate the fans. They hate it all. But then you can't turn around and be like the Knicks don't mean anything because they clearly mean something.
And it's so good for the league that they're good. And
Yeah.
like, hopefully it continues. But
Yeah.
Halliburton, thinking that he won MVP though. Is,
Oh, that was so good. That gave me
made
a
me
little
smile.
bit of
Yeah.
bit of solace. That would have been. Did you see that?
I did. I saw the game, but I actually turned it off.
I turned it off too because I was sick of it. But like, EJ was like, however he hyped it up, like, and they wouldn't have done it without this guy. He led the team. He was like a monster. He was unstoppable. And Halliburton the whole time's like, yeah. And he's like, your Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And he starts to step up and like, Pascal Siakam. That felt good.
But the thing about Halliburton and this is more about the Olympics than this, but like, I feel like he'd even make that moment funny. Like, remember
What did he do at the Olympics?
After the Olympics, when he was like flashing his gold, being like, when you got an A on the group project.
Oh,
you didn't do
yeah.
anything.
He was good about
I
that.
don't know Halliburton that well.
I
as a
unfortunately, he's now like mortal blood enemy for the rest of the time.
no.
I didn't have a problem with him. Now I have to. He's now like hand in hand with Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller is just. I don't know if I can say these things, but I feel like if I could murder someone and get away with it, I think I would murder Reggie Miller. He's kind of the same thing. Like, I don't mind. I actually like it. Like, people complain all the time when sports analysts are like boring and vanilla, and then here's a guy who's not.
Yeah.
But it's a little weird to be like on the call, on the broadcast.
See, I think they
not
have to
have it
go.
at least balanced out. You know what I mean? Like,
I watched like 3 of the games probably, and it didn't really jump out to me, the bias. I'm sure if I was
to
a
me
Knicks-
it did,
a
but
Knicks fan,
I was also like, I'm reading into this. But it was just like every 50-50 call he was going against, and like, oh, that's an offensive foul. I was like, no, it's not. And it's probably just like sometimes you disagree with the analyst, but in my head I was like, he's saying this because he hates the Knicks.
But that's why I think he should do it the way Biz does it. Where Biz doesn't pretend he's rooting for anyone else.
Yes,
He's like,
yeah.
I want the Toronto Maple Leafs
think,
to win.
I think this is like the coming out.
Yeah,
of
because that's a very fair thing. Just say it, and we all
Yeah.
know it. And like,
Also,
just be like Biz was doing. He wasn't on the call. He was doing intermission. But like for the Toronto series, Biz had a fucking Maple Leafs tie, and he would wear his blazer from the Maple Leafs that said he was the ambassador of the team, and he would talk about the game they were playing.
I just
it was
feel
unbelievable.
like the only thing is, I feel like if you were to say to Reggie Miller, you're being biased, he'd be like, no, I'm not.
yeah.
So that's what would bother me, because he was on the Rich Eisen show being like Josh Hart, when there was a time where the Knicks fans were all chanting like fuck Reggie Miller, and Josh Hart walked over and was like, did you hear him? Do you hear what they're saying? and he's so like then it's on, the rivalry's kind of back on. All that's well and good, but I just feel like then you gotta like, I need like Stan Van Gundy to be like a pro Knicks guy or something to kind of balance it out. But that's the way these broadcasts should be.
I think Biz at one point had the Maple Leafs tie tied around his head. It was just going, yeah, I don't know. Maple Leafs kind of getting fucked out there tonight. like that's a way more entertaining way to watch a game.
Yeah, it is. For entertainment value, it's so much better. But the Knicks, I don't get why. Then you get penalized now for like Knicks fans being excited and like throwing parties and shit. It's like, it's cringe. It's lame. It's like, what's lame is not doing this
Yeah.
shit. Not being that, like, naming the streets was stupid, but that's like a dumb PR thing that like the city wants to capitalize on. If I found out that like Jalen Brunson was like, hey guys, like let's name the streets after us, then it'd be a different story.
Right.
But I'm sure it's some like public relations team in the mayor's office who's like, we got to do this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that kind of shit you gotta get penalized for. And the Jalen Brunson hate is fucking insane. Like a week earlier, people were like, he might be the best player in the Eastern Conference, and now it's like he's overrated. He's a bum. Get rid of him. He can't take the next step. He had a bad series. He averaged 30 and 6. Like, get the fuck out of here. But
It's crazy how it's like sports are so funny. Like it just happens. This is what happened to Tatum last year.
Yep.
Like there's just always someone. Like I saw Colin Cowherd say like Tyrese Halliburton is doing everything he's told Jason Tatum does. Like there's a way better player. Blah blah blah. I forgot. I didn't even watch the video. It was just someone some Boston sports fan I follow like quote tweeted it, and it's him like on like I think it was like a 5-minute video about how Halliburton is just waxing Jason Tatum. Like, if Jason Tatum was a real superstar, he'd be doing what Halliburton's doing. And someone just screenshotted it with their two stat lines.
Yeah, they're like
from
identical.
This final,
Yeah.
and they're just exactly the same.
I saw one too. It was like Jalen Brunson had 19 points in the game, in the closeout game. They were like, Jason Tatum would never, and it was a screenshot of, I think from that series, he scored 18 when the Knicks bounced him.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
Everything's just people saying things. no one knows
there's
anything.
Nothing
Like,
is backed up. It's like when Rico with the Kansas coach. When was the last time this guy lost 10 games? Last year.
Yeah.
Last nobody knows anything anymore. RIP to inside the NBA as well. That's the big debate, is whether or not that's going to like continue on at ESPN.
Well, they're going somewhere else, right? Aren't they?
Yeah,
just-
they're going to ESPN.
Yeah, but a lot of people are kind of like, they don't think it's going to have the same, which I think is kind of a fair.
It's fair-ish, but like,
I mean, it very well might, but I also think there are concerns. Like, it's not going to be the same. It's never the
I'm
same.
sure. Yeah,
you know?
right. It'll be different, and it'll be its own thing. And I'm sure it'll be still pretty goddamn entertaining. With
Yeah, I think
the four really entertaining people.
I think it was Worldwide Wob or somebody was saying, though, like, there's like ESPN already has Scott Van Pelt for the post game. So now what do? Are they going to like kick Scott Van Pelt out for these guys? Probably not. And when you do an ABC game, it's you go to the local news for post game. So are these guys going to be able to cut into like the ABC's 11 o'clock news?
Yeah.
Probably not. All those things that are like more logistical, that it's like
but it'll probably like SVP's not on the ABC broadcast. He's just on ESPN.
Yeah, you just pop over to ESPN.
Yeah.
But those guys are probably the best to ever do it.
They're awesome.
I mean, that basically like is a podcast, but I'm almost surprised that those guys. I know Shaq has his own show, but like those guys should just have a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably like, we're
didn't
good.
Barkley start one for a bit? The Steam Room?
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Or that might have been a show. But he
Yeah.
had, like,
I'm
a-
surprised he hasn't like really started one. But those, I mean, if those four guys, if EJ was the host and he had three, I mean, that'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I guess they're like, we do this like 50 times a year on
Yeah.
TV, so you don't need to. But did you see the truck that overturned with bees?
No.
250 million bees got loose. 70,000 pounds.
Wait, why
It was
why was there a truck with
It was
bees?
they were transporting it, probably because we're saving the bees still. I don't
No,
know.
we saved him.
I remember you telling me that, so I was
Yeah.
going through my head and thinking that. And
Well, good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
we fixed the ozone and we fixed the bees.
Fixed the bees.
The two times that the people were like, humanity is fucked, like humanity stepped up.
Yeah.
We did the thing.
I'm working against the ozone because I'm doing window open, AC on.
It's a good time of the year for that.
It's a good time. I can't be stopped.
Dude, when
I'm
you
doing AC on fire going.
Why?
Because I like having fires. I had a fire. People were like, a June 1st fire is insane. It's like, well, this is how I roll. It's also been pretty cold.
There was like a article that was saying that like Ozempic, since it's going to be for the use of everyone, or like everyone's going to be able to use it, it's going to be like Advil basically, that there has to be a new like original, or kind of being skinny is like a sign of wealth because you can afford like the gym and no seed oils, all that stuff or whatever. So now there has to be like a new sign of wealth, which isn't going to be getting skinny. So then they was saying that like they think that it's going to be having really big families, and then like
that makes sense.
and then also like going on vacations very nonchalantly with your really big families, which I just thought was like a really funny like niche way to show like to be the next like. It's
No,
also like
that makes
annoying.
total
Like
sense, though.
I wish like the way to show wealth, like why couldn't I just be in the arrow that was like I just had to lose a few pounds. Now I have to like have 7 kids. And,
Well, yeah, because I mean, having like more than 2 kids, I think is like insane.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then if you're like, I mean, if you were to go on vacation with like your family of like 7, you need
so
like 3
expensive.
hotel rooms and 7 plane seats and all that sort of shit. So
Yeah.
it does check out. I don't know if that'll be the thing that shows
Makes
wealth,
sense.
but it makes
yeah,
sense.
it does make sense.
it's the I don't know the one thing, but it's certainly something that
Bro,
more people can't afford.
I'm getting accused of being on Ozempic.
I was you.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I that's a bit much.
What?
To think that I'm on Ozempic.
I would agree that it's too much, but you've lost a ton of weight.
I have.
You've
but
hit
like,
it well.
but
But I
I-
didn't notice it until the other day. You were standing here in a sweatshirt, and I was like, "When the fuck did you get really skinny?"
I've always been that lose like 15 pounds and you can't tell, and then I lose 16 and I look like I'm a fucking corpse,
Yeah.
But I was not like I was fat for like me, like my blah body, but I don't think I was like, I need to go get Ozempic.
Yeah.
But I'm almost like, I'll take it. You know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people were DMing. I put up a video the other day explaining, and I mean, all my mentions were like, Ozempic King. Like, just why are you lying? I'm like,
we're giving too much credit to Ozempic and not enough credit to like stress or
it's depression.
Yeah.
It's depression, and I cut out like 1,500 calories a night.
from the ice cream.
A pint of ice cream is like over. It's like I think it's like 1,400 calories. And I did that every night for 4 years. Do the math. It's like millions of calories.
It's one of my favorite lines in Parks and Rec is when towards I think it's like season 6 or something like that. They've started filming Guardians of the Galaxy. So Chris Pratt, Andy Dwyer, who for 5 seasons, whatever it was, has been again not like
but
just kind of like whatever, like a regular
pudgy,
guy,
normal guy, yeah.
And
now he's shredded.
and now he's jacked. And Adam Scott's character is like, "You look good. What have you been doing?" He's like, "I just stopped drinking beer." He goes, "How much beer were you drinking?" He goes, "A lot."
Yeah, like when I say I'm cutting out ice cream, people are like, "Oh, you're not having like a scoop?" Like, no, not having like 16 ounces of fucking of ice cream a night, dude.
How much beer? Oh.
But yeah, the bees were in this tractor trailer, it flipped over, 250 million bees just like bzzz, everywhere, and they just put out a warning wherever it was, like, stay away from there. There's going to be a swarm of bees.
Yeah, it must suck like just living in that town.
Yeah.
That town is now a bee town.
And they said they said in the next 24 to 48 hours, they will find the queen. Right now, it's just like, where's that queen? Ah! And they will the queen will find a home, and everyone's gonna find a hive. And I was like, yeah, no, that's a bee town.
Yeah, right.
Like you need to move. That's it.
It's like the town in Arachnophobia.
Yeah, great. Have you guys ever seen that movie? Probably not. No.
Oh
Why
my
would
god,
you?
there's actually no movie that I would ever want to see
This
less
movie,
than
it's from the 80s. This
Punishment.
watching it. No. That sounds. Is it about with spiders?
Sure.
it's called Arachnophobia, girl. So in the movie,
What is Jaws about?
Am I gonna be afraid? I have a fear of sharks. Should I watch it? This guy dies in I think South America, and they need to ship his body back home, and so they ship a coffin, and this spider from like this venomous spider from the South American rainforest jumps in the casket, and they bring it home, and all these people start dropping dead, like getting bit by this thing. I had a legit fear for a long time. I checked my shoes before I put my feet in, like every single time, because that was how one of the people died. He just put his foot in, gets bit, and this Jeff Daniels is the guy in it, and he's not a exterminator. Someone else is an exterminator, but he's like, I think he's like a wildlife botanist, some shit.
Botanist.
Yeah. So he starts like mapping out. He's like, you died here, and he's like looking at the map, and it's like this circle around this one house, and it's his house, and it's like in the basement is like this fucking queen spider, and it's like Jaws. It's like what Jaws did for sharks, this did for spiders. It is terrifying.
It was like that, and like 8-Legged Freaks came out right around the same time. I feel like and that one with David Arquette.
What a world where though, like, I feel like now every topic has been done, every movie's been made. We were just talking before about how many TV shows are out there right now. There's like a million shows to watch, but like in the 80s, it was like, spiders are scary. Let's make a whole movie about spiders. They did sharks. We'll do spiders. Like whatever, man.
In Nicaragua,
it
I saw one of the spiders that was basketball size.
Mm-hmm.
Jumped.
In where?
Nicaragua. And it jumped.
No,
When did you go to Nicaragua?
I don't know, like when I was 12.
Oh, okay.
Or
I thought it was a recent thing.
No.
So you saw one that big when you were like 12?
Mhm.
that would scar me for life. I'd like
My
never.
sister, yeah.
I wonder what I would do. Because I'm not like, I don't really have any like fears like that. Like I'm not like scared of heights or
Spiders would do it
spiders. I think I'd be like, I honestly think seeing that would be like seeing a turtle.
for me. If it jumped at you,
If it jumped at me, I'd certainly get scared. But like if I just saw it, I don't think I would.
No, you would. It was hairy too. It was honestly more like a dog than it was a spider.
Yeah,
I think that would make it more okay.
I think actually a lot of spiders are hairy, but they're small. When you see them, you're like, oh, that looks like
My version of
fur.
the shoe is like, you know that meme where like the spider's in the toilet bowl?
Yeah.
And then like whenever like I go to pee in the middle of the night, I'm always thinking like, oh my god. But then I'm like, I don't live in Australia. But like
In arachnophobia, the like final scene is it's funny because like at some point it's almost like this spider has like a brain and it's like fighting them.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But he goes down. It's in
like
the
that
basement.
snail.
yeah. It's got it's a sentient being, and the spider jumps at him like, and it's like flying through the air like a flying squirrel, and he has like a nail gun. And he like shoots it, and it like hits the nail gun and like sticks it to the wall, and it's like.
There's
And
legitimately
it's
not a
in
movie
my-
that I'd rather.
No, it is, and you will be watching it. You will be watching it. We should watch. You'll do a live stream, like watch it here, and we'll watch your face while you react to it.
In like Montecito, once every 4 years they have like a worm year, and so then every 4 years it's like my parents can't like walk without worms falling like on their head. And I'm always like,
Were they
I
in
can't come
trees?
home. I'm not coming home that year.
Dude.
What? In trees, yeah.
That's so funny you say that because I always remember I had like the high school graduation party at my house, and my parents had like there were trees and woods and stuff like that, and my buddy who was from Louisiana actually was standing under one of the trees, and a worm landed on him, and he freaked out. Started slapping at himself. He's like, get it off me, get it off me, get it off me. And I was like, what the fuck was that, dude? It was a caterpillar. And he's like, oh, did they not shock you here? And I was like, what the fuck do you mean? Where are you from where the caterpillars shock you? And he's like down in Louisiana, like if they touch you, they shock you.
I got shocked by one right before graduation.
What does that even mean? Why
I
do they
don't know.
shock
They're
you?
they're like out on the sidewalk, and it's like fuck. It's like caterpillar season. We also have like cicada season, so they come out of like the
Yeah.
tree roots, and they're
But so like
everywhere.
like if you stepped on that caterpillar, would it shock you?
No, it has to touch your skin.
Right. But like let's say it was barefoot.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's like a sting, like it's just like a quick like little. Nip,
Yeah,
like
you
a
also
bite?
you cannot avoid them. It's like the sidewalk is made of them. You have to, and when you drive down the street during this time, there's just smashed ones all in the street. They're literally everywhere. I
See,
can't
this
even
is
overstate.
where
They're everywhere.
I'll take the homeless people and the the danger and all that shit. In the
3
city.
months a year I get electrocuted by caterpillars, but 9 months is pretty good down
Absolutely.
here.
Even the cicadas, when it's like, oh, it's gonna be like a bad cicada year. Like, there's gonna be like 1 billion of them. Like literally, when somebody wrote the Bible and they wrote like about the apocalypse, that's one of the things. Like they're gonna be swarmed by bugs, the end of the world. And there are places that are like, yeah,
At least you don't have to shovel twice a year.
Yeah, I'll take that trade any fucking day, man. What's your number one like? Bees, spider, snake. You know, whatever. Like, what's your scary? What are you gonna be most afraid of? I was getting wood out of my shed, the firewood, and something. I went out twice, and both times something fell from the ceiling like onto my head. I think it was just like a little cricket. Like it wasn't anything. But both times I was like, I wish there was a camera on me because I was like the least masculine you'll ever see a guy like a bug.
I think bees would probably be mine. Just not an individual bee. Like I'm not scared of a bee sting, but I am scared of being
swarm?
swarmed. Like if that truck tipped over, not like just because I've heard how they go down your throat and they
Yeah.
go in your nose.
But
Like,
then
I don't want to go out like that.
Then I've seen these videos on like Instagram of like beekeepers and bee people, and they're just like grabbing chunks of them.
Yeah,
I saw some
yeah.
guy put them in his mouth and spit them out. And like I can't tell if those people are just getting stung and they're just like badass and they don't care, or if they're just not getting stung.
I'm guessing they're getting stung. Not a ton, but I'm guessing.
Dude, I got stung. I stepped on a bee. This is like probably like 5 years ago now, but barefoot, stepped on a bee. And I realized, I was like, I don't think I've ever been stung by a bee until right now because this fucking hurts. I always thought it was just like, I don't know, just like getting pinched, you know? And my foot, like, I had a big white spot around it and like everything else, maybe almost like allergic to it or whatever. But I was like, I stepped on a nail or something. Like, this is not just a bee. And they were like, it's a bee sting, you fucking pussy.
Dude, when I was a kid, I got stung by a bee 3 days in a row.
Oh,
Once in the eye.
3P.
What? I looked like a fucking. Bristol Community College, walking by the lake. I got stung by one. The next day I was at a gas station. My mom was pumping gas, and I was just standing there. I got stung right here.
Oh.
And then the third day I was in like Westport, my grandparents'
That's probably
house.
like the most improbable thing that's maybe ever
like
happened.
3 bee stings in,
Like,
in 3 days.
some people get 3 bee stings in a lifetime. Maybe. Got 3 in 3 days.
I would argue that those are probably my only 3. I
Yeah.
don't think I have any other ones, but it's 3 days in a row. One at the gas station in the eye. Sucked.
Like on your eyeball.
Like it was like right here, like right inside there. I looked like a freak.
I just chopped my head off. I'm done with this fucking thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like you're like asking for it if it's 3 in a row.
Yeah,
You're
what were you wearing?
I was wearing an outfit of honey. So
What else do we got? Did you see? Oh, speaking of like movies from the '80s, we've got Ralph Macchio on the show today.
Yeah.
The Karate Kid.
dude, I was so nervous about that interview because I was so positive about Karate Kid, and I was like, what if everyone hates this movie? And I'm like, it's just my interview being like, this is the greatest movie of all time. 88% on Rotten.
I was gonna say it's smoking. It's
Yeah.
doing well. It's a good interview. I wish we had like more time with him. It was a very interesting interview. I've never felt this way as the host before, where everything has been said.
Yes.
About the Karate Kid.
Yes.
Like there was like I wanted to talk to him about how he's the real bully and how the crane kick's an illegal move and all these things that have been talked about on the internet. And he brought them all up being like, and so, yeah, they did, blah, 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 this, that, the other. And I was like, well, there goes the interview. Those are all the things I wanted to talk about. And I was like, I know that he's talked about them a billion times, but I haven't, and my audience hasn't maybe heard it yet, so let's do it again. But the way he kind of glossed over it was just like, yeah, we're not doing that today.
Yeah.
And it was too short to like really get into the rest of it. I mean, it's still good. And if you grew up on it, it's definitely worth watching. It's
He was so incredibly nice.
yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Like really.
I mean,
really,
by the way, when at one point we asked him like, what was your favorite like time period of your career, and he describes when Karate Kid 1 was out and a hit, 2 and 3 were already on the way. He's a 23 or 4-year-old kid living in New York, making those movies and going to watch the Mets win the World Series. And I was like, I didn't even know that. That's my dream.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to be Daniel LaRusso when I was growing up. The amount of times I was like playing make-believe in my house with a fucking tie around my head like I was, wearing the headband, doing crane kicks and shit. And obviously, like, rooting for the Mets. And I was like, you were just doing that all for real.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God. What a time to be alive.
He also got married right after Karate Kid 1. They're still together.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Macchio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he got married in like 86 or something like that. And I was like, oh, not that I know anything, but I was like, I imagine that's not still happening. So
that one didn't last.
Just I know how statistics work.
Yeah,
And no, they're still together.
That's crazy. Named his kid Daniel after Daniel LaRusso too. It sneaky became one of the biggest like franchises ever. Like,
The one with Jaden Smith is underrated.
I actually
original.
haven't seen that one.
Okay, I actually haven't seen the original. but
So
I've only seen the
that's
Jaden
why
Smith.
in the interview I tell him, like, I went in with a complete open mind, but I didn't even realize that Jackie Chan's in the Jaden Smith. I thought this was Jackie Chan's first. Which probably like helped my excitement, but I was like,
I think that was like okay, but I think this is supposed to be like I think that was before Cobra Kai.
yeah, oh yeah.
So
2010.
like, I think Cobra Kai really turned it into like a Fast and the Furious
Yes.
thing, where it's like this is now like we're gonna be at Comic-Con, like we revived the whole thing. So I think the Jaden Smith thing was like hey, we'll redo that thing, and then Cobra Kai turned it back into like we gotta get back on the.
But
Karate
even
Kid
when
gravy
Cobra Kai
train.
came out, again, we didn't really get a chance to get into this. Like, at least for me, I did not take it seriously at all.
No, it was
because
like
it was a YouTube. It was a
thing.
YouTube
Right.
TV show,
Right.
And it was just like YouTube wasn't making TV, and they're still not really. I don't like. Does YouTube have shows now?
No, but it is funny that like there's just been this movement, and it's kind of
like
true.
created by YouTube. Obviously, people put shows on YouTube, but like.
But I think like YouTube is like television now. You know
No,
what
I
mean?
agree, but
I
just
think they
at that time it
right.
wasn't.
I would argue they're like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. There's a couple ones early on that were like these are the beginning of the streaming era TV shows.
Yeah.
I think you would probably say Cobra Kai was like the first show to come from YouTube that like really was taken seriously and became a thing and like.
But they didn't keep doing it.
Well,
They
YouTube
YouTube produced it. YouTube,
I see what you
YouTube
mean.
made
Yeah,
that
yeah,
show.
got it.
I don't think YouTube. People put shows on YouTube now, but I don't think YouTube
Right.
is still making shows because Netflix bought. I think after season 2, Netflix bought
Right.
it. Maybe after season 3, and then now it just lives there.
Right. But it is interesting that, like, in general, podcasts and some original content on YouTube is kind of the new TV channels. And I think that's where you run into, like, podcasts where you need, like, a phone, maybe a camera, someone who can kind of produce, and you can go, you
Yeah.
know? It's getting harder to do that. You know what I mean? Where it's, like, these are now full-scale productions. Where,
Right,
like, you need basically a TV studio.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of these podcasts that started out like we did, now they're basketball players and athletes and entertainers and actors. So it's like we have a big budget. We have people who are skilled, and we're gonna run like there's gonna be new content every single day. It's no longer like I just have a podcast. It's like I have a TV show,
right?
You know, which is cool, and also it's getting a little bit away from, you know, I think kind of what the essence of it all was at the beginning. You know, I saw it when Underdog went through their like layoffs. Somebody was kind of, I think it was a Jenkins and Jones fan was sort of like, if all of our guys like this are getting laid off for another like famous athlete entertainer podcast, like we got to start to question where the industry is headed. But,
right.
And I agree with that on a level because I'm on the other side of it. Yeah. But it's also kind of like
they were at Underdog.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I believe I'm almost positive that's where I was seeing all that discourse. But it's like anything else. It's like. When you get in early, you can kind of just be like a regular guy and you're fucking around and you're just doing it like for the love of the game. And then eventually it's like once people kind of get their claws into it, it's like, now this is a real thing. You know? It's almost like early UFC or things like that where it's like, now there's real athletes. It's tough. All right, the Knicks are out of it. So for me, basketball no longer exists. But for the rest of you, if you are a Pacers fan, if you're a Thunder fan, or if you're looking to throw some cash around on DraftKings, place a bet and win a bet on the NBA Finals, DraftKings is the place to go. The number one sports book right now to place your NBA Finals bets. I think the Thunder should win it.
That's what I think as well. That is also my expert opinion. But I think the Thunder are going to get this.
The Pacers do run deep. They got a lot of good players, but I think it's OKC's year. So whether you want to bet on them to win outright, whether you're going to do individual performances, props, bets, stats, I think SGA is probably a good bet for MVP. If it's the Pacers, I really think Siakam is the guy, by the way. Halliburton's like the big name, but Pascal Siakam's unbelievable. One of the most underrated players in all of sports. I'd throw some money on him. Whatever it may be right now, for first-timers at DraftKings, you can bet $5 to win $300 in bonus bets at DraftKings when you use promo code KFC. So don't miss your last chance to bet on the NBA this season. You got all summer to bet baseball. Football coming in the fall. Right now is your last chance to bet on the hardwood. So get it in while you can. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code KFC. New customers get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
You want to go your list, Una?
Yeah, should I just start?
Yeah. We told Una to put together a list of things to talk about.
Yeah, they're not very fleshed out because I thought I'd be telling you before, but that's fine. Trump said Biden was executed in 2020, and now there's just robots of him.
No, he didn't. He said that?
To quote, there is no hashtag Joe Biden executed in 2020. Hashtag Biden clones, doubles, and robotic engineered soulless, mindless entities are what you see.
Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting because I had a situation this weekend that I wasn't going to talk about either. But I bounced like a check in Vegas. No, I was home. I was in Massachusetts this weekend, and I was in a couple of different locations. So one day there wasn't a gym where I was staying, and I had just like found like a local gym and just went, paid a day fare. And in the gym,
what a meathead you are.
It's just I want to kill people if I don't. It's just I'm
doing this for your good.
It's the only way I stay happy. But it was I walked into the gym, and it was a big gym, and there were probably like I forget the exact number, but let's say there were 14 TVs. And there were 14 TVs in the cardio area, and on the treadmills were like 14 guys. And they were all walking, and they were all watching individually Fox News, and there was no noise, so like there was no sound, and I was like, it could just hear their heavy breathing. Also, a bizarre amount of them were in golf polos, like not a ton, but like 3. I was like, what the fuck are 3 of you doing working out in a golf polo? And I was like, if I walked into, or if anybody walked into a room and saw like 18 kids walking on a treadmill or doing something and just like zoned out staring at TikTok, it would be a cultural crisis. You'd go, this is gonna fuck kids, this is gonna fuck up this whole generation. They're gonna be brainwashed. And I was like, I'm looking at the same fucking thing and they're not even listening. It's like they're retaining or gaining any information. It's just a blank screen. It's just like the sight of Sean Hannity calms him down so much. I was like, if this was a different demographic of people, we'd go, well, this isn't good.
Right.
They can't all be getting their news this way. And the reason I brought all that up was the story they were watching was like, it was something about Biden's cancer, but it was like the graphic was very red and intimidating, and I was like, and then they went into trans athletes, and I was like, they just walk all day and just watch this stuff? Like,
I mean, that's
go
like
outside, guys.
They're literally just like a Walking Dead, like zombies, just like walking.
Yeah,
and,
it was like, and I could hear all their breathing. I was like, this is fucking so weird.
Crazy.
That like all these white-haired octogenarians are just living in Massachusetts and just, what do you call it? Footprints. Just walking and staring, and I was like, it felt really weird.
Yeah.
It felt really fucking weird.
Trump's on his shit right now of, I think he's just saying, he said, he was like, yeah, I might pardon Diddy. What, dude? Like, he's pardoning Larry Hoover, Derek Chauvin, Diddy. It's like white, black, whoever. You can all get pardoned. Trump's Biden's a fucking robot. It's like, at this point, literally just saying, whatever he wants about anything. That's particularly crazy. What else we got?
Uno two.
One thing, I didn't write this down, but Jack Mac's tweet, where, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
He tweeted and he said, I'm going to post a controversial take in like an hour or something. And so he tweeted, which I agree with. A lot of people were mad, but he said that if you could pick any 10 NFL players, put them on a team, and then have them play flag football tomorrow against the USA flag football team, that the USA flag football team would like win, blow them away. And people were like, no, the NFL team would win. I think the flag football team would 100% win.
I don't think that's an insane take at all. I think if you gave the football team a year to train.
Yeah, and he said that.
And like learn the rules and stuff like that. But I mean, a game's a game. Like athleticism doesn't, you show up to play fucking basketball with a bunch of old guys. Fucking one of those guys is going to be so good. He can't really walk, but he's like, you're like, how does this guy understand geometry in a way I don't? I think football's the same way. Like, we like, I don't understand these rules.
Is it that different though?
I don't know. I
do think that there's a certain stealth to grabbing the flag.
I think there's stuff
probably.
to all that. I think I would imagine. Again, I'm not going to put $50,000 up on it, but like I would bet on the flag football team.
I didn't know that
You
we
want
had
to see
a
if Jack
national-
Mac's out there?
I think in the
national?
tweet too, he said 50 grand on it. Did I just say
Yeah.
that? Or did
I need to learn a little bit more about flag football. If it's like a radically different sport, I can understand what he's saying. I think the learning curve is shorter than, I don't think it would take a year.
I just threw a year out.
No, but I'm saying
like,
I think it
if
could take like a quarter. Like I think it might be, if you really put like the best of the best together, I think they can figure it out.
But it's also like they've been doing it so long. Like I'm thinking of like playing like NHL with my buddy, and like he knew the pass across the crease, you score every time.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's just the thing because he's played so much more than me. I just don't know that.
I know, but imagine if you were playing like another hockey game and you were like the best by a mile at that game. And it's like, all right, this is a little different, but like
You probably.
I just want to make sure we're understanding. It's like the Olympian team versus like the stars of the NFL.
As I understand it, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said pick any 10 NFL players.
Like I could see in the beginning like some growing pains, and then they just get cooking. I don't know. I
He
mean,
specified tomorrow. Like he basically said any time.
Yeah.
And maybe the NFL team would
Again,
win.
I'm not putting up a massive bet, but I'd put a unit on the flag football team.
I could
I
see this
agree.
being one of those things where I think it could, maybe it's true, or it could be like we were fucking insane for having this debate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yo,
Yo,
we're talking flag football.
I'm with you.
What are there? What are the rules? Is it that different of a game?
Yeah, you can't really even compare it.
Jackie's sick of you. She's gone.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. In her like jean fit. It like you can't really even compare it to 3v3 basketball. Like it's a much smaller field. You can't be physical. So the physical aspect is
Kind of canceled out.
It's kind of canceled out. Now there is obviously the speed, where that would be huge. But I was talking to, and it is a little bit biased, but I was talking to a lot of the flag football guys that are on the USA team, and they were saying, like, hey, they would beat us in a month or two. But if you rolled the ball out tomorrow, they were like, we would beat them without a doubt. There's so many little rules because if you are running, right, you catch the ball. Let's say I'm a defender. I'm Sauce Gardner, right? Feits, let's just say in another world, you're amazing at flag football. You catch it, and he runs a slant. If I touch you, it's 10 yards. You can only swipe at the flag.
Oh,
you can't,
You can't
like,
touch their body at all.
Yeah, they would be too physical. Yeah, it's just so many rules that are different.
I bet like even little things like they know how to like move their hip a certain way
Yes.
that gets the flag out of.
I
It's-
get that.
remember
the guy that he's running and then he like almost as he's running he like ducks or squats essentially, but then is because he's done it so many times is good enough athletically to like then get right back up without going down. So it's there's so many little minute details.
I remember being in Chicago once, and they had like Ohio State maybe. They had some big college handball team there.
Okay.
And I think Dan had talked shit about on the Yak, like handball in general. And they were all there, and they were saying exactly what you were saying. We're like, yeah, dude, if Patrick Mahomes wants to learn how to play handball, he's going to be fucking unbelievable at this. But if he wants to play me in handball right now, he's not.
But handball, I
It's like if
understand
black
a totally
people wanted
different
to
sport,
like
though.
learn how to play hockey, like they would be better than like white people probably.
But like, if this was like a couple years ago, let's say, like, you think Tom Brady stepping on the football field and getting beat by these guys?
Yes, because
Yeah.
it's
You know?
so different. It's like
Are you not even like passing the ball and shit?
not
like that? Like,
really,
it's-
and
You can't tackle, right? in flag
there's
football?
you can't touch.
Can't even touch. Yeah.
Like you can, but like if you do it, and let's say like a guy really hits, like it's 5 yards, 10 yards, and then there's like these little details that
It's even just instinct. Like Travis Kelce's instinct is to lower his shoulder. That guy's instinct is to jump down.
the field
Like,
is also cut in half. There's 5 people, and the quarterback is like 15 yards behind. Like
Don't you think there's a world where these guys though just like Hail Mary like touchdown every time? If the
Yes.
field is that small and I'm that much faster than you, just go. I throw it. Like maybe on defense is different, but I feel like they're going to score every single time.
Yeah, it's,
Like, first pass.
I guess it's this is why like if the Olympics really wanted to do something, it would be like make a special rule. There's the NFL team,
Yeah.
and then there's
Or at least somebody should step up and do like an exhibition where it's like at least a one.
So they have done it. There used to be this American Flag Football League, AFFL, I think, and it was on NFL Network. And there was a few players that played in it when they were suspended or they were cut. Maybe they had like a domestic violence thing against them, but they weren't in jail yet. Like they were, but they were like
the real all stars, you know.
But these guys were NFL players, and
Yeah.
they went. And I think the team was like Ohio. There was this player on the team. Some people that are listening may remember. Noel Devine, who was this really, really fast guy that played for West Virginia, didn't pan out in the NFL, but he was on that team. They had an NFL quarterback, and the American flag football team beat him by like 40 points. So there's precedent that obviously that's not the NFL All-Star team.
Yeah.
But I also am thinking these
think that
guys,
makes a
why would
difference.
Jamar Chase spend any time really trying to learn the game?
Yeah.
Like he's just going to go out there
Well,
and
because
play.
there's dumb fucking people on the internet saying they would lose.
Well, that would be...
There's
well,
going to be like team Jack Mac versus like team fuck Jack Mac.
I mean, it would be such an event. Like I would be so into it. I wouldn't...
That's the sort of shit we should do. Barstool should put their money into that. Like instead of doing the Arizona Bowl and those big productions we did.
like,
But you
go-
need so much
I know.
money.
It's not feasible, but like it's
like, why is
rock and
Patrick
jock for
Mahomes-
like this era. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, even if you can get guys who
Yeah,
are
to
like,
incentivize those guys.
that are
You're
like
right.
college football stars,
Yeah.
but didn't pan out in the NFL, like who want to take more of a chance. Obviously, Jamar Chase isn't going to risk it unless it's the Olympics because the NFL's telling him go and play.
Right.
That's the thing. You will never see it, so it's kind of like, and even when I posted, I knew it's like you're kind of
can't really prove
you're
it one or
talking
the
about
other.
something that will never happen.
Yeah.
It's like 94 Bulls against, or not 94, like 97 Bulls, 98 Bulls against
The
Warriors.
2015 Warriors.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. It's like
These are all
it would never
hypothetical.
happen. It's
Right.
impossible to happen.
Right.
I
So
feel like you could simulate it by doing.
That's the other thing I was gonna say. AI can simulate these things.
Well, no, I
Kind
was
of
saying like if you get a, I'm sure there's like
What
a
do you-
high school football team.
oh,
If you
okay.
get a high school football team and you get some Barstool people,
Scrubs.
so then it's like, all right, we have adults who like we'll get our most athletic, and then we see how well like people who know how to play flag football.
I think the best thing would be actually like the best. They do these 7-on-7 tournaments. The best high school players go against the American flag football team, and then if like the American flag football team wins by like 100, then it's like okay,
Kinda
maybe you have a
there's little-
conversation.
yeah. It
Dude,
is interesting that like at some point being like big and strong is counterproductive if you can't touch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's almost a negative.
It's an
to
offensive
be
game, though,
that.
at least I've been told.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's like, okay, I hit hard or I tackle well. And
That
it's
does
like,
literally nothing.
that's probably not only is it not going to be good for you, it's like gonna
Also, Sauce
work against
Gardner,
you.
right? His size is going to be so big. Pause, but you know what I mean? Like,
The way that you said that too was really-
his size is going to be. But what really helps him is his physicality, which isn't 100% negated because obviously reaching for passes and all of that is huge and speed. But I've never seen a group of people so confident in something that was like, no, it was with the caveat of, hey, if they had a month of training, we'd be fucked.
Yeah,
Right.
they're confident.
Yeah,
to
they
that.
were like, yeah,
So they're
and-
not being like outrageous. They're
No,
actually
they were
kinda
just
being-
like, hey, all these guys played football in college. They're like, yeah, like these guys were better than me. Like I looked up to them.
That's why I can see one side of it, but I said before you came in here, there's also a world where if it played out, I think we might be like we were idiots for everything.
Yeah.
It's 100% possible. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Like, I would really, really, really love to.
So
see
we need
it.
to get a gorilla, 100 men, a flag football team, a pro all-star team. We gotta we need like the internet games where you simulate all of this shit.
Dude, did you see the what is it called? Enhanced
Enhanced
games?
games. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit is so the swimmer is really making like the most noise. That guy, I don't know his name, but he.
I don't know anyone. I've
So
seen
there
it.
was a swimmer who was an Olympian. I think he won like bronze medal or something like that. He was very good. He and the enhanced games is, if you don't know, you're allowed to take steroids. You're encouraged to take steroids. If you break a world record, you get $1 million.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that
heavily
either.
incentivized.
Okay.
And this guy did so. He broke the world record for like the 100-meter freestyle or whatever. By the way, he's a freak. Like, you know how swimmers in general are kind of built weird.
Yeah.
He has the lats. I mean, he's like a triangle. He's a freak, dude.
And his
So he-
arms are probably this like
huge. And so I think he got the $1 million. But his wife went on social media and was like, "This is like the best thing that's ever happened." She was like, "He's not like a juice head roid monkey. Like he's using it, but it's like controlled. It's the dosages are right." She's like, "We made more in 1 month than we ever made in our entire lives as Olympians."
Peter Thiel's
like
funding it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
He's like she was more saying just like the enhanced games people are treating their athletes way better. It's like, well, they're also like asking you to poison your body. But her point was like, he is, but he's not like abusing it. He's not, there's no danger. He's not like his head's going to explode tomorrow. She's like,
Yeah.
he did a cycle. He performed. He's coming off of it. Like it's, so she was like, as a family, as a man who's trying to provide, as all that shit, the enhanced game's like the best thing that's ever happened to him.
Right.
Which I'm sure is all propaganda, and I'm sure they're giving him money to say all these things and all that shit. But it is an interesting.
But then if someone beats his record, do they get the $1 million?
I would imagine so.
I'm
they certainly have a right to it, as I understand the
because
rules.
then we go down. Then it becomes like just
Yeah.
someone's just gonna keep on breaking records. They're just gonna be complete freaks.
No, yeah, but the flag football game is one of my bigger what ifs. It will never happen just because of contracts. But maybe who knows? Like, I mean,
Mr.
It
Beast.
makes a lot of sense.
Tell Mr. Beast about it.
yes, Mr. Beast, 100%.
He's
He's probably the only one that could make
Yeah.
it,
totally
like, financially.
for sure. I mean, he spent $100 million on his reality show. Like if you put together $100 million pool and gave $5 million to Jamar Chase and $5 million here and to play one game of flag football, you can make it happen.
And then you get Amazon involved, and it's like Bezos, and the NFL's like, it's good for the brand.
Huge. I mean, I would watch that over the actual Olympics.
Yeah.
Like
I
100
feel like
100.
the NFL might try and stop it because what if that gets too big and everyone's like,
Let's play flag football.
It's kind of boring to watch. I was watching I watched a few games. It's all right. It's like it's not. It's there's too many little details.
Dude, there's
I
also
think
all
football. I was thinking it this weekend because I was at a bar where the UFL was on, and I forgot that's even happening. I forgot it even existed, and no one was watching it, obviously. And I was like, I don't even know if we like football if one of 20 different teams aren't playing. Like, there are probably 10 NFL teams and 10 college football teams who like the whole
That matter.
country
That is
is
fair.
really into.
The rest is like,
and then the rest
Yeah,
is
I
like
mean, when
obviously localized.
when
and
you're watching like
regional.
a Jets fucking Jags game,
Right.
and it's like
Most people
this
don't give a fuck.
sucks. This is not enjoyable.
People just love to gamble.
Yeah.
UFL actually puts up decent television numbers.
Really?
But the only thing is, if you put something on ABC at 2:30 on a Saturday, people
It's
are
gonna get
watch it. And
numbers.
it's like,
Right,
how
right,
much
yeah.
of it that is just a bar putting it on?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how many people are actually watching it? I don't know.
Seeking it out, yeah,
But if you look
yeah.
at the numbers, they're kind of comparable to a NBA regular season game.
Oh, that's
which
really,
is
wow.
not bad.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, for a new sport, that's good.
100%.
Did
Yeah,
you
but I mean,
see
like, can
a
you
new
name
league?
a UFL player?
Well, I
I
saw
didn't know the UFL existed.
I saw a thing the other day, an ESPN tweet, and it was like, so and so just made a kick to beat the blank, and I was like, I don't have a fucking clue what
Mad
sport
Libs.
this is.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it was particularly confusing because I think one of the teams has a kicker who's like famous for something else and goes by one name.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so-
yeah, Marquise King is the punter. No, well, I don't know if he kicks.
because I know him.
Yeah. He's in the league.
He was the
though.
Raiders guy, right?
Yeah. He's in the UFL.
No, it was just one name, and maybe it was just his last name, but it was presented as like a Madonna type deal. Where I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
It's interesting. The Rock, he owns it, but I haven't seen him promote it.
No, I forgot. Once I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I think The Rock owns this, but I'd forgotten that the league even existed.
Did you see a lot of tweets going around saying that the New York City has not won a championship since like 2000 whatever, and everyone's like, the Liberty just won.
The tweet was very specific. It said a
The
major
major sports.
championship.
Like, come on.
And it's not a major championship.
It's just so
And
disingenuous.
the Gotham
Women's?
one, I think, too.
Yeah, the
Liberty
football
just
team.
won.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
women's
won in like
championship.
2021. Again, that's not what the fucking like.
It's hockey, basketball, football, baseball. That's it.
It was like trying to dunk on it. It's like,
men's.
there's a word in it that very specifically says it's not.
Yeah.
You're not what they're
Right,
talking about.
and they try to turn it into like a female thing, obviously, but it's like MLS doesn't count.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of the guys play too that don't count.
Right.
Lacrosse, none of this shit counts. There's
Yeah,
four
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
teams
yeah,
that
yeah,
matter,
yeah.
you know?
Like the MLL, or like somebody, like if the Bills won, no one would count that for New York.
Right.
I know, like,
Totally.
it's
Totally.
like, the
Yeah,
Bill-
these are all semantics games.
Yeah.
I got something for you that you might be interested in. I don't know. I got to vet it myself, but someone DM'd me. And, I mean, everyone's just gotten so crazy about the WNBA in general.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I got my tinfoil hat on for the WNBA. This
I
guy-
actually have a question.
Yeah.
How many more NBA players are more famous than Angel Reese, or like more known? I think it's
Very few. Like,
Very
on the
few.
list. Yeah.
I think
Angel
it's
Reese has
5.
I was gonna say sub 10.
Yeah.
So LeBron
'Cause, like,
100%.
'cause-
Steph. You think KD's more known? Probably.
Probably.
Kyrie.
As always, you gotta go to
Kyrie.
like the household moms who it's
But
like
it-
my
Angel-
mom
yeah, I
has no
know.
fucking
I heard
idea.
you guys
No, I'm
doing
saying
that.
I think you have a better chance of knowing Angel Reese because of Caitlin Clark and the like racial tensions and all that shit.
Caitlin's
than
two.
like
There's only 2 bigger.
than like Tyrese Halliburton.
LeBron and stuff.
LeBron and Steph's the
Yeah.
only 2 bigger than Caitlin, in my opinion. In
I
terms
don't
of
even
name.
know. I think you're talking about face.
Yeah, face
recognition.
value. Yeah.
I think Caitlin Clark beats maybe all of them.
When you guys were, I was over there.
He's not
the
bigger
other day.
than. She's not bigger than
Not
LeBron,
LeBron.
though.
No, yeah.
When you guys were doing like the Instagram thing.
Yeah.
And like when I started hearing the numbers, it was like they were doing like guess the top 10 followed Instagram players in the NBA.
Oh, yeah,
and it was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
LeBron had like 170 or something insane, and then
drops
after that
off.
it was like Steph had like 50 maybe,
Like Lonzo Ball.
and then after that it was like it was like it got like by a top 5. I think it was like down to like
wanna
under
see-
20 million
go
followers.
to baseball. It's real depressing. Starling Marte is like the 4th most followed person. He has like 2 million followers. I don't know why he has that, by the way.
But
It's very
part of
strange.
that is also
I
like
think in Hispanic cultures, he's like known as like
the guy or
like
whatever.
Papa.
Pause.
a lot of that too is like follower counts matter to us because this is the world we work in.
Yeah,
like
no one else
baseball
really cares
players
about
don't
that.
like. I don't give a fuck how many followers.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still getting paid $70 million.
Right,
I don't
right,
give a
right,
shit how many
100%.
Instagram followers
But it
I
is
have.
it's just an interesting
was a-
metric where you can measure.
Marty did like a Marty versus against a 5-star guy who's a senior going in high school, quarterback. I think his name's Faison. And then he was there with the NIL collective with the school that he's going to, Tennessee. And then the guy who I've met before grabbed me and was like, oh, can you talk to him about TikTok and Instagram and all that? I was like, oh, yeah, of course. And I talked to him for like 5 minutes. But the first thing I said was like, honestly, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you just want to play football, just play football. Like,
Yeah.
it definitely can help, definitely in the NIL era. But, like, if you don't need money, you're probably already getting paid by the school to play football already. Like,
Right.
honestly, it may cause more problems than not.
Yeah.
But if you want to do that, then like, I mean, he had like a 14-year-old sister. But like, just listen to her. Like,
Right.
she can
Well,
probably like.
and
she
that's
knows.
the thing too with age. It's like most athletes coming up now will be different because
Yeah.
you grow up with it. But if I'm like an old man and someone's telling me like I need to have my TikTok following,
Yeah, but who
He'd be
cares?
like,
Like,
my check from the Celtics is still gonna clear, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
then I'm not
yeah.
gonna worry about that.
It's like you need a digital footprint.
What did
Like-
they DM you about the WNBA?
Oh, so if you, I don't know why this guy was doing this because people are so fucking crazy with the WNBA, but he was like
the numbers on WNBA is insane.
Well, he
Like,
was looking at
social-wise.
stats on,
Okay.
and he's
Oh wait, I
sorting
got this too. I think
the shooting percentage.
they changed it, right?
So he was searching, he's searching stats, and like if you search rebounds, like Angel Reese is like has the most rebounds in the league.
Yeah.
But while looking at that screenshot, it has her shooting percentage. She's shooting 31% from the field.
Yeah.
And then when you sort by shooting percentage, the lowest, because like 31's like near the very, very bottom of the league, her name just like doesn't show up. So it's just like if you're trying to find the worst shooters in WNBA, Angel Reese's name just does not appear.
I did.
Really?
I did see. I did.
I have not looked at it myself to see
I was gonna look
whatever,
at it,
but
also sometimes those things are like. I mean, look, we haven't fixed the search function on Barstool for fucking
but it was just weird
like
that
a
it's like
decade.
if you sort by this, the number's there, it's fine. If you sort by that, she just disappears.
Yeah.
It's like
That is quite convenient, though. It's
Yeah.
one of those things. It's like, oh man, like
it's tinfoil hat, but it's like it's there for a reason. Those guys right now who are betting against
I
her
know.
first shot is. I've never been more jealous to not be a part
Was
of something.
it-
They bet Angel Reese first shot miss every game, and they've hit like every game in a row, and they play the Titanic music.
She had one the other night. Which was
like they're
it,
so
was,
bad.
it wasn't even close.
It's not even close.
Like, it was like she shot from like the baseline, and she was probably like 15 feet away from the basket. It was just like it was just an air ball. It was just
It's bad.
it's just she's kind of like Rudy Gobert, so good on defense. But like outside of that, it's she's.
And then
you see
the
the Lisa
rebounds, but the
Leslie
rebounds are tough. Yeah, when Lisa Leslie was like, "You need to get better at layups."
Oh, wait,
my god!
on her own
But
podcast.
and I feel bad, but it's like she brings it upon herself by being like, "I'm the face of the league," or like, "You're gonna remember me too." It's like we're gonna remember you because you missed.
She is,
7
I will
layups.
say.
I saw someone say that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is interesting because it's like we get to relive Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, but if Magic sucked.
That's the biggest thing. Like I think if she was really good, it would be dynamite for the WNBA.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It still is dynamite for them, but it's like as time plays out, there will come a day, especially like down the road, people are gonna be like, "You used to mention Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in the same breath." Like,
She's
that's fucking
really
insane.
good. She's really popular though. I think we miss it, but like
Well, it's also a race thing too.
a
It's
race thing.
like
But she's huge.
I saw somebody like she got the Angel Reese Puffs cereal, and they poured it out, and just a brick fell out of it. It's like, this is so mean, so fucking funny though. Terrible. All right,
Well,
thank you,
thanks for
Jack.
having me.
Yeah, man.
Didn't you start the office debate that was a while ago? It was like, who's more famous, Morgan Wallen or Aaron Rodgers? And we had a clip, and you guys were like, Aaron Rodgers, no doubt. But I think it's Morgan Wallen now.
It's
By a long
changed a little bit.
I was gonna say it's the conversation has absolutely
I think we did
changed.
talk about that.
I think, yeah.
I would
But
say
I
remember
more.
that.
I still think. No
I
matter
still
what,
think it's Aaron Rodgers.
They're in the same circle. They're in the same
and
world.
you
So
know
and
why
I think Aaron
is
Rodgers
huge,
is.
bigger. It's like, even though Morgan is political, he's not like Aaron's gone so political that
Aaron
people are
Rodgers
like,
was being mentioned as a possible vice presidential
Yeah.
candidate.
Yeah.
Like he's very much more on that.
More. It's a fairer conversation now. When that conversation first happened, people were like, Morgan Wallen's doing a sold out show in Australia. I was like, who gives a fuck
fucking cares?
about that?
No, he's definitely bigger,
No, but
but
think
like
about like the 12-year-old like TikTok girls.
Morgan
kids,
Wallen versus like Josh Allen is
true.
probably a better question. I would say Morgan probably.
But all of these
But
things, when you're
he's
talking about just
dating
like
that, what's her name? Haley.
right wing football
Hollywood.
fans, like they're kind of in the same circle. Usually,
But there's
those
a lot
things
of
are
right
kind
wing
of
like
like
people that are obsessed with Aaron Rodgers that don't watch football. The
That's
new
what I mean,
take is
though,
like
yeah.
if you watch sports, you're a loser. Have you been seeing that a lot? It's been.
I saw
bubbling
that
up.
dude. Yeah, I saw some guy on Instagram just being like, he's like walking, just filming himself. being
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Why do you
yeah,
do that?
yeah,
Shut
yeah.
the
But
fuck
it's
up.
like
I was like, you're totally right. Shut the fuck up.
I tell the story all the time. I went to an Eagles game with Shane and like a bunch of his friends, and Billy McCusker of War Mode was there. And he looked like he had just come from the job site. I didn't know how to talk to him, so I was just like, "Oh, like you big Eagles guy?" And he just looked at me and goes, "If you can name more than 3 guys on a football team, you're gay." And I was like, "Oh, there's another level of man. I forgot about that."
What do those people do?
There's the
though?
man
What-
who's so manly he doesn't even care about
What
sports.
do you do
What do
every
they
day?
do all day?
They just watch Fox News. They're just
so,
politics.
Like that's
They're
just
just
has to
into
be,
politics.
Like so draining.
I have another bone to pick with you. Leaving Michigan man off the crying list is
I
insane.
know.
What
And I
do you
left
think?
it Billy.
Top Barstool Criers of all time. Let's go through it. So
I think Riggs is
this was
one.
inspired by
Riggs
Kelly's.
is one. Riggs
So
has to be one.
yeah, I would have. I at one point I would have argued Michigan Man, but then I started to really go through like the meat and potatoes of Riggs' thing. It's insane.
Yeah,
and
Riggs.
then Dave brought this up. You'll see it on the rundown today. Riggs, people forget, cried while accepting the award for crying at the award show.
It was a joke
It
award.
was a joke award. It was a mockumentary award about crying, and you choked up and started crying, which thereby proves you're the number one crier. So it is Riggs, but you have, so in no order, you have Riggs. You now throw Kelly into the mix with the Taylor Swift thing. You had Meek Phil crying at the wildcard berth. You had Dukes crying about Dayton.
I got to give Dukes the two.
Dukes was up there.
And it was a first round matchup. Like it was a 7-10 game too. It wasn't like 16-1.
Yeah, it was like a regular fucking match. Didn't he also cry when Obi Toppin got drafted?
Maybe, but he's like his thing is you don't understand the pain.
Yeah.
Take it like getting the senior season taken away from you.
Yeah, because of COVID. Shut the fuck up. But Michigan Man was the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my life. That was insane. When I was the judge on the panel for that in Barstool Idol, and all of the interns, all the contestants were sitting there, and I watched him. I watched him devolve. He was just like his chin started going higher.
And it was about
and I was like,
woman, right? Like he was like
Dave was voting off a different girl, and he was like, I'll take her spot. I'll leave. He was like, you shouldn't be voting her out. And Dave was like, you can leave. If she can stay, but you have to go. And he was standing up for her. But then I think all of that had happened, and then this was like one of the final votes, and he was just like overwhelmed with emotion, and he was like, and I will never forget. I was sitting there as a judge, and he was like right in front of me, and I see what's happening, and I looked over at Dave, and I was like, oh my God, he's crying. Like nobody else had noticed it yet because like there's so much, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's crying. I was like, this is about to be a massacre. Like, what? I almost want to like just go grab him and and I was like, he's crying right now. I mean, that was insane. I said that.
Wait, what was the reaction again? Like, did he get called out?
Oh yeah. Dave was like, "Are you crying?" It was like straight out of League
But
of
then
Their Own.
Dave
It's like,
ended
"There's
up
no crying
liking
at
him
Barstool."
more, and then he left on his own. He wasn't gonna win, but he left on his own
Yeah,
fruition. I think.
I think it was like a
He was on the
you
street,
can
I can-
leave.
yeah, and
he
he
like
was
walked
like,
away
I'm gonna
crying.
go.
Yeah, I said it should be like we have all these seeds of crying, and that Michigan Man should be the name of the region. It's the Michigan Man bracket, and Riggs is the number one seed.
Duke's crying about a Uganda versus Ghana, or what was it?
Wait, Dukes?
Wait, you've never seen this?
No, I was thinking about the date.
I was thinking of Daytona.
Oh, sorry,
Dayton.
Billy crying.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
At
Billy and Duke's in my mind. Though. It's like, that's one person.
At least like Billy was like went over there, right? He was like in Africa
Yeah.
playing with
He
them.
did play, yeah, that's
You know,
fair.
I could see you have a week together with these people who live like this third world life.
That's
and
fair.
you're-
That's fair. But he wasn't crying about that. He was crying about the football.
He was just,
I know what you're saying.
He was
Like,
just mad that he lost.
wasn't crying about like, oh, this world is like, I'm so lucky. Like, I can't believe these
Yeah.
people that I just met.
He was
live
just
in.
like, we
he was
fucking
like,
lost.
We lost, and like he was like I love these guys.
Summertime is officially here. It's taking a little while to warm up here in New York, but we're getting there. Officially summer season. I opened up the pool. People are going to the beach, which means it's officially Reef season. Get out your flip-flops, get out your sandals, get out your Reef shoes. They now have sneakers this year, which are like lightweight, easy breezy sneakers where you can wear them on the sand. You can wear them out in the warm weather. But if you're not a flip-flops guy, if you don't want your toes out, if you want to wear like an actual sneaker, Reef has got you covered. I wear the Neptune suede shoe. That's my jam. It's really like rubbery, soft sole, lightweight leather suede upper, very like breathable. So you're not wearing like, heavy, hot sneakers, but you're also not wearing flip-flops. So if you want to go for a walk or you're on the beach and you don't want to wear the sandals, they got you covered. I like the Neptune. They also now have the fanning. The fanning is like their main sandal, where it has the bottle opener on the bottom, the leather straps. It's like the quintessential Reef flip-flop. They now turned it into a shoe. So whether you're more of an open-toed guy or a closed-toed guy, they got the sandals, the flip-flops, the sneakers, all different materials, rubber, suede, leather, everything in between. Reef has got you covered this summer. And right now, when you go to reef.com/KFC Radio and use promo code KFC Radio 15, that's KFC Radio 15, you get 15% off your first order of $49 or more. Get free shipping on any order over $65. So that's reef.com/KFC Radio. And then at checkout, the promo code is KFC Radio 15. So you get 15% off that first order over $49. Hit $65, you get that free shipping. I said on the rundown that when people are like, I should have this job, like I could work here. It's like, no. These, like, those are the real Barstool people. When you're sobbing over your
there's so
content.
many people that were responding that was like, this is why she shouldn't have a job. I was like, this is why she
should
has
have a job. This is
And it's
why
like,
she is the one.
Yeah. Like, this is why it's like,
Yeah.
Like, also, first of all, most people, like, the guys that will comment, not to go all Michigan man, white knight hairs, like, they'll be like, these women shouldn't have jobs. It's like, the most valuable thing you can have at a media company is a woman.
Yeah.
Just from, like, an ads perspective. But that, I got a lot of those, but I think ultimately hers is probably at the bottom.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would have it towards the bottom too.
Yeah.
Just because like that's probably not one of Kelly's top 10 Taylor Swift cries.
Yeah. She wasn't
And
really,
also,
like,
there's so
bawling.
many
Like, she
people who
was, like,
cry
kinda
about
crying.
about Taylor Swift. That's not that.
Yeah.
That's not that crazy.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of tears shed for the Dayton basketball team or the Ghana football team. But Taylor gets a lot of tears.
Yeah,
you gotta have a real
yeah,
big
yeah.
tear moment for Taylor to stick out.
All right, good stuff, Jack. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Anything else before we? Let me.
You got anything else good? Oh wait,
Oh, yeah, we
actually,
gotta go through the rest of
I
it.
have a question that maybe you can answer too. I've heard about the Dan thing from last week that he like clicked a link Barstool email.
Yeah.
So do those emails come from Barstool Sports?
Wait, what happened? I don't
No,
understand.
they come from, like, our HR, like,
But is it like so Kevin, for you, what I guess Dan got a link for $100 in free Uber Eats, and he clicked it, and then it was Barstool who sent the email, and it was he ended up failing catfishing scam. Like Pete's like testing to see if we're all dumb, and Dan clicked it, and I texted Dan because I was like, dude, how bad are things at home that you're clicking for $100 free food? And I was like, dude, what are you doing texting or clicking a link? Like, on the one hand, I get $100 of free food. On the other hand, my incredibly valuable identity gets stolen. Like, don't click the link, dude. And but then someone told me that the email comes from Barstool.
it does.
Well, then that's bullshit.
Yeah,
that's
like the
fucking
ultimate
insane.
cat-
This happened to
catfishing.
me, and it was labeled, I think, as like a Christmas like bonus. I was like, of course I'm going to click on it. From Barstool Sports, Merry Christmas.
And
Here's
it's
your
from the
$50.
HR.
Yeah.
So then,
Obviously, I'm going to click on
So
it.
this
Well,
is what
this
it is.
is what they're trying to teach you
No,
guys.
no, this is
but
what
the lesson I'm learning from this is do not open anything from Barstool.
There's definitely a flip side to it. There's
I
definitely
haven't
a
opened
flip
anything
side
from
to it.
Barstool in about
Yeah,
10 years.
I already followed that rule, but like I'm just like why would I ever? If you're openly telling me you're sending me fake links, why would I click a Barstool link?
Well, they also do give us free
That's the
Uber
thing.
Eats, so
Yeah, that seems like a system that's not very
there's-
very effective.
That's something that somebody came up with, and everyone's like, that's such a great idea, but you don't think about the second order effect of like, wait, why am I opening anything?
Right? Yeah, like
That's happened to a few people. Like, it happened to Ohio State like a few months ago. It looks legit, and I think they probably partnered with Uber Eats and was like, can you just give us your format? We're just gonna have and Uber Eats was probably like, yeah, we can
No,
do
you-
that.
but we also have a deal with Uber Eats. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
all makes sense. Like, oh, it's from Barstool. It's with a brand we work with. Like, no shit.
And $100 sounds right. It's like, oh, that's nice.
It feels like
I mean, I texted Dan. I was like, dude, you literally were like, on the one hand, I could get 10 free Blizzards, or my whole life could come crashing.
the dude does love his Dairy Queen. He does love the Blizzards. No, that feels like in Arrested Development, Walter J. Weatherman teaching lessons. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's why you don't click links. It's like, yeah, it was from a trusted source talking about a company that we work with, and it was a deal that we get all the time.
Yeah, like that. I'm just never gonna click anything.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's
that's an email I would click, and I don't open them, I don't click them, but that's one I would click.
good job, HR and tech. Like, it's about
Yeah, so you probably, I think they send it to people that haven't completed the whatever, like the
training.
HR trainings.
yeah, that's what their goal is. Like,
That's one of the biggest rackets, not for us, but just like in general in the world. The HR industry training things I can only because they're required by the state. I can only imagine how much we have to pay for the fucking portal for us to have trainings.
Yeah,
I would assume
that is a big racket.
Yeah, it's the one
and
of
for
the biggest
everyone just
rackets
to click
ever.
through and nobody
And
retains anything.
no one,
No one
it's
does
like,
anything. Yeah. Now that's about as
no, I
effective
mean,
as a
it's
submarine
just-
with a screen door.
The only good
thank you.
ones.
No.
Wait, what did he do?
We're playing a game. You have to try to sneak like a stupid euphemism in without getting caught. So I said that was about as effective as a screen door with a submarine with a screen door. I was trying to do it while you were here. I was about to be like, all right, get out of here, Jack. Good job. Thank you, man.
Later, brother. Una, you got any more that we're about up? But
I have a few. I'll save some, but just one thing that I think is so funny that it's real is Tinder added a height filter.
Saw that.
And so people are like, well, you should be able to add a weight filter. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, but they should do BMI because weight without height doesn't mean much. So I was like, let's just solve the whole thing BMI.
Or you should just have to be like full ass body pics. You know what I mean? If my height's gonna matter, you can't just do your neck up or whatever. Yeah, that's the.
That is a fair rebuttal.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. You want to because yes, if you're true type, you only like guys over 6 feet. You should be able to make it over 6 feet only. However, if it's under whatever amount of pounds, this is
not a new thing. Like I've seen a lot of man on the street stuff where they're like, "How important is height to you?" And they say like it means everything. And then the guy pulls out a scale, and the girls like smack them in the face. They're like so offended, and it's like, well, that's the game you're playing right now.
You also, I cannot possibly get taller. I can get skinnier.
Yeah, right. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, that also led to that tweet I saw people arguing about. It was like, why do short girls date like 6'5" men?
Yeah.
And how they, like tall people should stick with the tall people and that sort of thing. I don't know. I don't think anybody wants. I mean, if you're like a 6'5" guy, it's like I have to go like date like a 6 foot tall volleyball and then breed like an army of tall freaks. I don't know. What, are we breeding here now? Like I just want to have. I like short people. I don't know.
Yeah.
The number one thing, I don't like use apps anymore, but the number one thing that I talked about this, a lot of my friends too, would look for is, are your friends attractive? Because if like there's so many hot guys that are like freaks and are like crazy that if you have hot friends, you're probably normal. If you have weirdo looking friends, you're a weirdo.
Really?
So if you have only ugly guys in your picture, I won't swipe. Like I'm just like, you gotta be weird.
No, because I feel like it means if they're hot or like whatever, if all their friends are ugly, it means they're probably like really funny or something.
I was gonna say, I feel like if I saw like a whole crew of guys who were all good looking, I'd be like, these guys are all like frat boy douchebags obsessed with pussy who like, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm not saying they have to be like studs, but you know the type of like, if you could tell that they're the oddball of their friend group, I guess. Like,
that's a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing. Like maybe
you can't win, bro. You can't win.
Yeah,
I don't know. Look at me and like my like fat funny friends. Like you're a freak. Like oh, here's all my hot guy friends. Like you're vapid.
No, but like, and I know what it sounds like, but it's like if I were to swipe through, you guys would be like, all right, yeah, that is an obvious red flag. Like you would know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know. Whereas just because it's like I just gotta be safe out here. Like I can't be like like something on whatever guys, but. Just don't put ugly guys in here. Just don't befriend ugly people. It's like, seriously.
But seriously.
Yeah, you look crazy.
All right, we'll get into our interview.
Yeah.
All right, Ralph Macchio, the legend himself, the Karate Kid. The new remake Karate Kid Legends is out in theaters. Go watch it now. If you have not seen it, go back and watch the originals.
Fun. If you got a kid, take him in the movie.
And I was rewatching the first one with my kids. It's awesome. There's this scene in the first one. They're at a Halloween party. Daniel LaRusso goes as a shower, dressed up as a shower. Everything's pretty normal. And at one point, this chicken shows up at the party. And they're like, oh, this guy's dressed as a chicken. And the chicken takes out eggs and just throws them in people's heads. Real eggs, and he smashes Daniel LaRusso in the head with an egg. And everyone's like, it's crazy. I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, this is where they fight because it's probably the bad guys. And no, it's just a funny prank where the chicken just smashes eggs on people's heads at the Halloween party. It was one of the weird things. I was like, what was going on in the 80s where that was a normal thing?
Cocaine.
Yeah.
When I last week, I just had to catch up with a bunch of people. So but I didn't want to drink. So I was like, I just kept pitching seeing Sinners with people for some reason. So I have to see Sinners with like then nobody could. So then I moved it all to next week. I have to see Sinners 4 times next week with different people. So now I have to like I'm gonna switch in Karate Kid for some of them.
You can't put it all together and just go as a big group. Too many people.
No.
That's like an episode of like Curb. I don't know. It's like I promised
a
them
lot of different plates.
Yeah.
If I had 4 separate Sinners dates, I would go.
You know what?
Hey
Actually,
guys, I'm going to Sinners with all of you. Anyone want to go together?
I'll tell you this much:
It was
if
a
I
fun
was
couple
on the 4th date, if I was like,
Are these dates like Tinder dates or?
No,
these-
some of them are just friends. Some of them are dates. But like,
but if I was like, all right, like
One of them.
Thursday we're going to the movie. Like, how's your week been? And you're like, well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I went to see this movie.
I've
I'd be
seen
like,
this movie.
get the fuck out of here. This is insane. I don't want to talk to you again. That'd be crazy. I only see this movie for the 4th time in 4 days.
well, I'm not gonna tell anyone. I'm just gonna be like, oh my god.
I do
so
that.
good.
I see
Yeah.
movies 10 times and I don't. No one knows.
Well, now I'm
It's
gonna,
more
now I'm gonna
fun.
switch in Karate Kid.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. You do.
What-
You see it. Like,
I see movies all, and I don't. I try. It's not like I don't like refuse to tell them or anything like that. But like I keep it a secret.
We're all
It's
just
good
we're all just
I've also
social
already
misfit
seen
depressed
it's more
autistic
fun
weirdos.
like if
so-
you're watching if you think you're experiencing it for the first time with a person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like they're gonna have more fun if they think it's my first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also feel weird when I'm watching, and I know they have, and I know they're watching me for reactions.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
just watch them. We're all good. All right, Ralph Macchio, my hero on KFC Radio. It's Father's Day season. So what does that mean, John? What am I getting?
Omaha Steaks, of course.
Omaha. I feel like they should work with Peyton Manning. Have they ever done that? They need a campaign with him.
They certainly should have.
I mean,
if they
he's
haven't,
Quintessential. You need a Father's
well,
Day
they're smart enough to
campaign.
be advertising with us instead of paying.
I was going to say, who needs Peyton when you got me and John? Omaha Steaks has been with us for probably like a decade now. Every Father's Day season, it's time to get your dad the meat. We're talking filet mignons, chicken cutlets, pork chops, jumbo franks, burger blends. They got everything to do with smash burgers now. I love a good thin, crispy smash burger. Omaha Steaks has you covered for whatever your dad wants to grill. I'll be honest, it doesn't really matter what you're grilling because your dad just wants to go outside and man the grill and be left alone. But if you can hit him with some juicy filet mignons and some tender chicken and everything in between, it's that much better when he can get away, get some peace and quiet, and grill up some fire meals for everybody. So this Father's Day, give your dad the world's best steak experience with Omaha Steaks. Go to omahasteaks.com for guaranteed perfect gifts that deliver legendary quality. Right now, you can get $35 off when you use promo code KFC Radio at checkout. I think there's already site-wide discounts, and then you use promo code KFC Radio and get $35 off at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code KFC Radio. See site for details.
No, that's good.
Good.
There's not a camera in the world this guy doesn't look handsome in. Come on.
On camera press. This is what I remember.
Yeah.
Got to get up to change the channel.
With the weird second dial, the one
Yeah,
that
yeah,
had like
what, that
65
UV,
channel
UHV?
UHV. I don't know what the fuck that was.
I
That
know.
never made any sense to me. This is probably the type of TV I watched the original movie on.
Yeah, might have been
Right.
like a VHS.
Bro, I got to
Awesome.
tell you, Karate Kid is like a core piece of my life. I was born in '85, and
Right.
like,
Oh,
and
wow.
even just like as we were sitting here getting ready for it, I was like just going through all Karate Kid stuff, and I was like, holy shit, this is like a piece of who I am as a person, man.
It's well, listen, a lot of time has gone by, so I've heard that
I'm sure.
so many times. But
Yeah.
first of all, as I get older, it gets kind of sweeter and richer because I'm usually meeting people that have fondness. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
this was my whole childhood. It's usually
I can't
pretty
imagine
positive.
there's many people out there who are like, I
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
hate
yeah.
Karate Kid.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
no,
think there's anybody out there who
For
feels
the
that way.
most part, it's a pretty good embrace, and it just became, part of our childhood, a piece of pop culture.
Yeah.
And through the years, through parody, through sequels, and the Cobra
Remakes and all
Kai
that,
thing
yeah.
just exploded, and it's kind of the interesting thing about it is popcorn is the Karate Kid was because it was a summer movie. It has resonance in such deep areas. People will
Totally.
come up to me, tears in their eyes. This is the one they watched with their grandfather or their mom or their brother had a tough time in school, and this was the one that gave them the inspiration. And then yet it has all the
fun stuff. Yeah.
Sweep the leg and
Yeah. Right.
I was thinking about that last night at the premiere.
Wait, by the way, are we just not going to address that he's wearing the
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
So I got this at the premiere last night.
Yeah, I just thought you had I thought you had your roots done.
You're closer than you think. But the so we were at the Karate Kids Legends premiere last night.
Oh, awesome!
Which
Glad
was
you guys were there.
Incredible. It was it was so much fun. It was if you don't have a chance to go to a New York City premiere, I recommend it because it's the most fun way to watch a movie.
Put it on your bucket list.
All the kids and the geese going nuts and all that stuff. But I was thinking while I was watching it, like there must have been a time in your life, or I imagine there was, when you kind of rebelled against it.
Yeah, listen. There was certainly. I'd be lying to say there. Like I would say the mid '90s to the mid early 2000s. So like if I do it in movie timeline, post My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
To there was a dry spell before maybe like Dancing with the Stars, which was 2011. So like I was 95 to 2005. That 10-year stretch. I never didn't want to talk about it. I never, because I knew how much it meant to the fans.
Right.
So to me, you have a lot of actors or people that are associated with a certain work that's kind of pigeonholed them, and they get on these things, and you're like, you want to come on the podcast? Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm doing this now. I think I was always very mindful of the fact that the Karate Kid and how it found its way into pop culture globally, and how it resonated with so many people's upbringings. To walk into a situation like this and say, okay, we're not going to talk about that, made no sense to me because it was their story, their movie, their characters, their, Mr. Miyagi affinity, their journey that was so inspirational. So for me to then sit there and say, I'm not talking about it, but I would say, can we talk about some other things?
Yes.
Can we?
Yeah.
Yes. Am I ever going to put the headband on and the gi ever again? In 2002, I would have said, no, effing way. That's done.
Right.
And then here we are. They come in with a Cobra Kai pitch.
So how old were you when you accept what a gift it is to have that?
I would say when I did my first kind of panel screening years later with a full audience to say, I don't know. I can't pinpoint the date, but somewhere in that time window, toward the end of that time window, maybe when Comic-Con started becoming super popular.
Right.
At first, they started out as kind of like Star Trek conventions, and then they became pop culture
More
fan
mainstream
events.
Yeah.
Right. And so it wasn't just like horror movies and Star Trek. It was
anything that really has a popular franchise, like anything that has a longevity to it.
So yours is different than a franchise.
It was at that point that you just saw how beloved it was decades later.
Yeah.
They'd come dressed up in costume and they'd know every
quotes
line of
and
the thing, and so at that point it became and also the How I Met Your Mother thing. Right, the whole Barney Stinson saying that Johnny Lawrence is the true Karate Kid and Daniel Russo is his.
I mean, that became this internet thing.
That thing that was throughout that series, and then Billy and I wound up doing a cameo on the series. But it was at that point that I started to see fan theories. The internet became a place to play.
I think the internet is a huge part of the Karate Kids.
All of that
story.
stuff started. They put a guy put out a "Who's the Real Bully?"
Yeah.
Was the kick legal? All of a sudden, I'm saying, this is not just a movie now that resonated with people. It has now become a conversation, and so. At that point, I was just like, now I wanted a bucket of popcorn and to keep watching this. And it kind of, it just, kicked it into the stratosphere of, some of those lines of dialogue are part of the American lexicon.
Yeah.
now.
I mean, sweep the leg and the crane kick and wax on, wax off and all these things.
It was at that point that and then when you have the kids. So I'll have 10-year-old kids now.
That's
running
gives
down
a
the
whole
street.
new life.
Yeah, and they all know who Miyagi was, and they all, think that. They say, "Hey, don't you play the dad on my favorite show?" I think I'm going to see your movie with the other old guy.
I was thinking about that last
awesome.
night. I was very surprised. I didn't realize that how how much it resonated with younger generation.
Yeah.
I knew with me, and I knew with Kevin, and stuff
Right.
like that. And then last night, like all the kids going nuts. I happened to go into the bathroom, I think, while you guys were walking in, and people were screaming and pictures, and Jackie Chan obviously.
right,
is,
of course.
you know,
Legend
what a
he
draw.
is, Yeah.
Yeah, so it does connect on how many films, certainly films to the television, to the streaming series, back to major motion picture, like they're on the cusp of all that, but how many have that over 40 years time? Star Wars?
That's
Right.
exactly.
Whatever.
Last night I was
Very
thinking
rare.
that I was walking home from the movie, and I was like, what a gift Ralph has to have this unbelievable franchise have a through line through his entire
Yeah.
career. And I was trying to think of other actors who had it. Stallone with Rocky and Creed, Vin Diesel with Fast and Furious. There aren't many who are just like,
No, there's-
this is this humongous,
character.
like it's a really, really big thing that everyone loves, and it's lasted my entire career.
Yeah.
That's a crazy accomplishment.
Yeah, it's nuts. I don't know how to make sense out of it other than, you know, the filmmakers deserve a lot of credit. I mean, John Avildsen, who directed Rocky, directed The Karate Kid. Robert Mark Kamen, who wrote that original screenplay, created that Miyagi character. You know, the human Yoda for every kid, needing fatherless kid. You know, and it worked on that level where you're single parenting, it's mentorship, it's fish out of water, new kid in a different town,
Coming of
dealing with
age,
loss,
boys,
the loss of
girls.
his father.
Yeah.
In this movie, it's the loss of his brother. You know, those are all human, relatable elements. But then it kind of, with Cobra Kai, then it was about those three guys who wrote that show, who grew up the ultimate Karate Kid fans, knew way more and know way more about that movie than I
you,
do. And they care so much, and that's why Cobra Kai worked, because we cared so much.
Did you have anything to do it? Like, was that
No, it
happening
was
with
not
or
my
without you?
conceptual idea. I was like, sure, I'll play LaRusso. He acts like a dick now, and
Yeah.
he has a car dealership and is rude to other people to set up the Johnny Lawrence redemption.
Yeah.
Right.
But I love the way Cobra Kai ended, because it ends in such a way where these two guys that were at each other's throats figure out a way to be the best versions of themselves for the
Yeah.
sake of the next generation.
Yeah.
And that's part of what drives me, even with Karate Kid Legends. It's another chapter for a new generation, a fresh look, different. We're not trying to do what we did. You can't touch that original film, that kind of cinematic magic.
I had
that there
no
was.
idea what to expect going in. I was like, happy to see the movie, obviously, but I really didn't have any expectations. I was blown away.
You had a
I
good
had
time.
so much
It-
fun.
the,
I thought-
like the early,
it was
the early
great.
feedback seems to be like it's a heater. Like,
Yeah, it's fun.
going to be a
but
big
the bottom
one.
line, the bottom line is, if you're going to compare it, if you're going to, just rip through, well, this, that. If you're not going to buy the popcorn, you're not going to have a good
Yes.
time. But it is, the themes are, and that was what I fought the most for, is keep that connective tissue, keep those themes relevant and honest.
Yeah.
You could change the tone. It's a lot of quick cuts. It's the TikTok generation. Sometimes it moves super fast, but it's another generation. With the
Gotta reach them the
you
way you
guys
gotta-
see in the original Karate Kid, you weren't on your phones and streaming 10
Right.
Yeah.
series at once.
Yeah.
It was either summertime, what'd you do? You went to the movies or to the beach or the pool?
yeah.
Or had a sleepover. Those were your four things you did. You didn't even have a podcast. You didn't even have you guys to listen to. It was like AM radio, maybe.
Right. right,
So
yeah.
it's
different
tougher
world.
now. So
Yeah.
the film is different, but that's great to hear. Like, this is the best news of the day.
Totally,
you
man.
walking fresh, not knowing, being fans of the original, and still having a great time.
I loved. I mean, the action was. I know. I thought maybe the karate had a little more Jackie Chan style.
Yeah,
where,
it's
like,
certainly more kung fu style. It's certainly more Hong Kong style in the filming.
Which I love
Close
to
camera
see.
inside is very young Jackie Chan.
Also, Josh Jackson
Josh
being
is great.
being the elder statesman in a,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
a
yeah.
kid's sports movie. Like, come
Yeah,
on,
come
dude.
on. Yeah, I know. And the kid Ben Wong, props to him.
He was unbelievable.
He does. If one thing you need in the Karate Kid franchise is you better be rooting for your kid.
Yeah.
And he does a really good winning job of. We want to see him succeed.
It's such an interesting thing. I was walking home, I was talking with my friend last night, and he was like, "It's such a great thing. Like, it's such a great format of a movie where it's like,
a kid gets in a fight early, and like, well, I want to see his redemption. So I'm locked in right away. Like, I want to see him fight that kid.
It's the most
again.
basic, pure, like.
Yep.
It's like you're watching a heavyweight fight. Like you know there's going to be a second.
Yeah. When's the rematch?
Right.
Sign me up.
When the first one came out, how old were you?
22 when it came out. I was 21 when I started shooting it.
And was it expected to be a big deal? What did you think you were walking into? Like,
no, I listen. That summer it was Indiana Jones, Ghostbusters. Those were the big guns.
Right.
I mean,
so you're not thinking like we're gonna be on their level.
No, it was a sleeper at Columbia Pictures, which is Sony now, but budget was $7.5 million,
Jeez.
which is like craft service on a Tuesday for Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
But
Wow, that's crazy.
So it was. I think. Listen, John Avildsen directed it. He directed Rocky, won the Academy.
Yeah,
Award.
not
So
like
it wasn't,
schleps or anything,
It wasn't
but
a
it's-
throwaway.
Yeah.
They had. I mean, it was a 3-picture deal.
Oh, so I was gonna say right off
So
the bat, it was supposed to
they
be a
and
trilogy.
that was just when those were starting.
So that's- but it was
they
already a thing.
They were hopeful, but you know, I think, I mean, at the, you know, it had enough of the boxes checked for it to maybe be a summer success. The fact that I'm sitting here 41 years later and it's a relevant major motion picture after a number one Netflix
decades,
series.
Yeah. was it a hit in the moment, or was it like a little cult classic?
It was a hit
like,
right away.
Right away with box office.
No,
good.
but it was a word of mouth.
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
reviews were very favorable, some mixed, but mostly very favorable, and it became the conversation that the families could go to. You know?
How long did it stay in theaters?
Those days are done. I
Probably
miss
like
them.
a year.
I miss them. It's like I can't see it this weekend. I'll go in October.
Right.
If you don't get there
now
by
it's-
Thursday,
it's gone,
you gotta wait for an
I go to the movies a lot, and I like go opening weekend now because
Well, you have to.
It's gonna be
unfortunate.
gone.
I mean, and it's all about that. But Karate Kid was like it came out June 22nd. I know because I have the poster in my
mom's
gym.
birthday.
It says June 22nd. And it's I think you get in the discount theaters after like maybe
Lingered for a
September,
bit.
October.
Yeah, that's a good summer, man.
You know,
That's a great summer.
it
And so
played-
you're 22.
Yeah.
You're Daniel LaRusso. You've got this, 2 more movies in the can, ready to go. You must have been on top of the world.
Yeah, well, those were not. I mean, I think the second. I just come off The Outsiders. That was when I got the Karate Kid, and then when the Karate Kid came out, I saw it at a sneak preview in May of '84. I didn't see the movie till I saw it with a full audience, kind of like last night. But it wasn't a premiere. It was a sneak preview for paying.
Oh,
yeah,
it
that's
was
cool.
like
Yeah.
they were building the word of mouth, which is what they did back then. Now it's like you need your opening weekend, otherwise
It's a flop.
Call it the parachute business. You either open or you die. That's just the way it's changed. But we were so I saw it for the first time there, and now I'm losing my train of thought of the question. Someone younger. and
I
smarter
was just
tell me
saying,
what I said.
you must have been on top of the world after.
Yeah,
it
so
came
it
out.
was. Yeah, we came out of that theater and everyone was doing a crane kick on the side of the
What a-
Third Avenue.
Like, everyone
was
those
doing that.
things, sweep the leg, the crane kick, wax on, wax off. Like those are
Get 'em a
part
body
of
bag.
culture.
It's crazy.
I mean, like
And in sports too, man.
Dude, that
you know
kid,
every
that guy
arena I
get
go
him
into.
a body bag.
Yeah.
It's so unhinged when you think about it. Like, what the fuck,
what's so
man?
cool about that line is it was what's called looping now, ADR, automated dubbing, dub recording. It was off camera.
Right.
So the only thing on camera is the
Right.
So
Then
he
here's
did
your-
a get him a body bag, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
everyone had a
And then
little
I've
piece.
seen, so there was you're the bully, the crane kick's illegal.
Right.
I just saw you were illegal because you had turned 18. It was an under 18 tournament.
Or
I mean,
Miyagi
these people
stole the black belt.
They stole you should have, none of this should have been allowed.
But he
like,
was also drinking scotch in front of this teenager, talking about World War II.
Okay, so what do you think? Like, I feel like the Marty McFly, Doc Brown relationship,
Yeah.
very similar to the
Right,
Daniel Russo
right.
Miyagi. Both of them weird as shit.
Yeah, right, of course.
Both of them.
Totally.
If your son came home today and was like, "Hey, I'm hanging out
hanging
with
out
this
with this
old,
old guy."
karate," I think you'd be like, "No, you're fucking not,
No, you're
dude.
not,
Like,
yeah.
go on TikTok.
Yeah,
Like a normal
exactly.
kid.
Go sit in the
Brain
corner
rot.
with your phone. I'm gonna keep an eye on you as you go down that cesspool of the. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it is funny that it's something that quite literally I don't think anybody could relate to. I don't think there's anybody out there that actually ever did that.
Yeah.
But it does feel like this wholesome,
Yeah, well,
relationship.
I mean, that character, when you look at Doc and Miyagi was very much I call him the human Yoda.
Yeah.
Right. Where a fatherless kid is getting picked on, and he has a Jedi warrior that kind of helps him navigate the bad kids, but in a way where fighting's always the last answer to the problem. Find balance. You train so you learn not to fight. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's so many memories. Did you play the video game?
No.
Oh my God, the original Nintendo Karate Kid is one of the best fucking games
great.
ever. Yeah,
I've seen it.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
I've seen
Miyagi, you got to catch flies with the chopsticks,
Chopsticks.
and that's like one of the hardest things. You got to chop through ice blocks. You got to try to get through all 7 of them.
That probably came out with the second. That came out with the Karate Kid Part 2.
Yes, because you're in Japan a little bit in the game, too.
That's when all the merchant, all that stuff happened because they didn't know. That answers your question. They were hoping for success and knew, but they didn't have all that lined up.
Yeah. I know. That makes
Today's
sense.
day and age, they got all that stuff because that's part of the revenue fee.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Then it was Part 2. They were teed up for the lunchbox and the village with the karate chop
It's the
action.
perfect timing for
It's
that.
so great.
Like the 80s and
It was
90s
86
was all
when the Mets,
action figures.
When the Mets won the World
The
Series.
world, what a time to be alive!
That was
Are you
the
a Mets
summer.
fan? Yeah.
Big time.
Let's
I
go.
was at all those games,
Yeah.
including Game 6.
So you're 22, 23, 4 at that
They're
point?
about 24.
Watching the
86.
Mets win the World Series.
I was
You
on
have
Broadway
in the middle
with
of a
Robert De
trilogy.
Niro
You're
at
on
that time.
Broadway, yeah.
was
My
a big
cousin
summer.
Vinny.
Crossroads came
Holy
out,
shit.
and then Karate Kid 2.
What were you doing on Broadway?
I was doing a play called Cuba and His Teddy Bear with Robert De Niro and Burt Young, who played Paulie in Rocky.
Yeah.
He just recently passed away. Great Burt Young, and that was amazing summer for me because I had. Crossroads was still in the movie theater, although not a hit, but it was kind of a cool blues. I played a guitar protege. It was a cool film, and then Karate Kid 2 was coming out, so I had both those kind of overlapping in the theater, and then I was at the Long Acre doing the play, and then I jump in the car and head to Shea Stadium. It was just stupid time.
So actually, that reminds me of a question I've asked Danny DeVito once. He was on the show, and I was like, you've been around for so many iterations of Hollywood. What generation did you feel the most comfortable in? So between like the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, now, like when were you like, this is not even the most comfortable? Like when was Hollywood? When was celebrity life the most fun?
That's a good question. I mean, I've always
Like it's hard to beat mid-20s in the 80s. Like
mid-20s,
maybe
80s
I'm
is
wrong.
great,
but,
but
like,
here's the difference. Just like everything else, youth is wasted on the young.
Right.
So if I could go back, the wiser,
yeah.
more seasoned, balanced version of me to that time, I would have been, you drink it up a little bit more because you think.
Probably literally.
Yeah, exactly. But I've always kind of kept one foot in and one foot out. That's kind of how I've survived it all.
Probably smart 'cause you get too involved.
Especially during the lean years when I wasn't working much and I was like, wow, I guess this is done.
Yeah.
Like late 90s, mid 2000s, up until, it was a long stretch of time, but that's when, my kids were born. I got to be the stay-at-home dad. I was writing, directing a little bit, short films, doing guest spots, but I
Wax On,
never
Fuck Off?
thought.
Wax on,
Wax
fuck
on,
off.
fuck off. Wax on, fuck off, which is I love. That's when the Karate Kid remake came out with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith.
Oh, right.
I was like, I
yes.
can't sit here while they do this. I gotta come up with something. And it was at the point. I love that video. Even though
was
it's
so
a bit
funny.
That was so
dated
good. That
now
was
with
very
my
good.
success, but it's
That's great.
It
It's
was
a little too famous for it to be funny
too
now.
famous for it to be funny, but it still works, and it's all cyclical, right?
Yeah.
But that was about, I think it was like the Tiger Woods scandal and the Charlie Sheen drinking the tiger blood, and Sandra Bullock won the Oscar and then had something with her husband.
Oh, yeah.
And that was all happening, and so the concept, I just came up with it. I said, I've always had that title in the back of my head.
Yeah.
And I just said, wouldn't it be fun to do a reverse intervention on a guy who's just home at night, kisses his kids, hugs his wife, watches television, goes to the movies, and goes to the Met game. Let's just say even the family wants to fuck him up so he can become relevant, you know? And so at one point I was trying to get Ozzy Osbourne to come in to play my Mr. Miyagi. Like, that's who I was hiring. You know, he wouldn't do it, so then we wound up using the internet as the Miyagi, you know, clips of badass guys messed up, you know, where, you know, those tapes, sex tapes. I'm trying to get, and the more, and then I brought in Todd Holland, a great director, did Malcolm in the Middle, Larry Sanders Show, and a bunch of other stuff. We developed a project idea years back that never went anywhere. But I said, would you do this with me? I was going to direct it myself, but I said, would you do this? I'd rather just make sure I do the best job. And he was so well-versed in comedy, and I walked in the Funny or Die, and I said, here's my title, Wax On, Fuck Off. I didn't even get the word. I didn't get to the F's. And they're like, where and when.
Yeah.
And
I watched it again this morning. Holds up.
We released it, you know, like the 2 days before the Jackie
remake.
Chan, because I never thought I'd be doing this. This is way before
Was there any
Cobra Kai.
thought? I feel like nowadays with nostalgia, the internet, remakes, if you last long enough and you're still around, you'll probably have your second time in the sun, you know? Did you ever think that? Like, I just got to make it another decade and this will probably hit again, or was it all a surprise?
I mean, it's all possible. I mean, you know, it's like I tell my kids what happened to me is it's a bazillion to one. Just even when you think of The Outsiders, Karate Kid, and My Cousin Vinny, just say those three movies that have all, like, none of those three are like, oh god, this thing just doesn't fit anymore. You still Vinny
Timeless.
I mean, Bill Belichick's on a podium right now.
Yeah,
still
right. But Mona Lisa
Vito.
I almost, here's a good story. I told this on, I think, Chris Eisen, but I literally was driving with the Deflategate as a Jet fan, right? So I mean, I'm tortured. So I'm always rooting against
naturally,
you know, Brady and Belichick, as great as they are. Respect them, but you know,
I get it.
I literally was driving on like Deer Park Road on Long Island when he goes, I don't pretend to be the Mona Lisa Vito of. I almost drove off the road, like just hearing Belichick say those words, like. It just, you know, I think I like skidded, I stopped, and I looked around just hoping everyone heard that at the same time. But everybody was going on with their day. I'm like, I felt like just getting out of the car and saying, excuse me, did you know what just happened? Did you know what just happened? I just love that. I love that you bring that up. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, timeless. It spans generations. I mean, even my son was in martial arts, and you know, he was doing one of the demonstrations, and he kicked through a piece of balsa wood and, you know, did whatever.
I'm still trying to get through it.
But I was filming him, as everyone does these days, and then I went home, made like a little video. I put the You're the Best music in the back, and I was like tearing up watching, you know, he's like a 5-year-old kid.
It brings the feels
but that
back
music
to that
and
time.
like that moment, I was like, it's crazy how like impactful it is. That song's awesome, by the way.
No, it's great.
Along with the Rocky music, the Karate Kid music, all that like, it's just, they don't make them like they used to, man. Those are
no, I
unbelievable.
agree.
I guess they do now, though. With Karate Kid Legends, they run
I mean,
it back.
that's what they do a nice job with Legends, is we just try to just pepper just enough of that connective tissue, not to there's just enough of the nostalgia feels, but it's really its own thing.
Yeah.
Like you could, I mean, you guys are big fans for a long time, so you get a lot out of it in that respect. But you could really just walking off the street, not seeing a frame of Cobra Kai and have a good time at that movie.
There were children running up and down the aisles last night.
Yeah.
Like, it was unbelievable.
It's pure, man. It is pure. And then it's great for like
it's multi-generational.
Yeah,
which
but
is,
you don't need to know.
You know, what we're hoping for on opening weekend. I mean, that's how these things work.
I couldn't recommend it harder. It was so much fun. It was so great. Really great shots in New York. Like, it really made you feel like a part of the city. It was,
which is new to that franchise.
Yeah.
It's the Valley or you know,
right.
it lives
York
in
City, the
the
backdrop.
San Fernando Valley.
Right.
It's a character.
Yeah.
You know.
And now, you taught Jackie Chan a few things, I'm sure.
A few things. Yes. My favorite moment with Jackie. He's great. He's like the youngest kid on the set. He loves making movies. He loves. He'll hang the lights for you. He'll change the mic. He'll do anything. He's there early, leaves late. So it's great to see at his age. But at 71, I will say I was pretty nervous, you know, because he's. a martial artist. I kind of play one on TV.
I did this.
I got that down, right? But he was doing one move with the kid. He had to take him and flip him, and Jackie Chan is broken like 500
Everybody,
bones.
yeah.
And he threw his shoulder and it hurt, and he winced and yelped a bit, and there was something on one side of my brain. I was like, I don't wish pain on anybody. On the other side of my brain, it's like, I'm good. I didn't do anything. I just saw Jackie Chan say, "Ouch." Okay, so throw the kick. I'm ready because I was pretty intimidated. You know?
I'm sure.
We got a hard out for you, but before you go, I wanted to ask, would you mind autographing this for me?
I would love to. I would love
I love
to,
it,
man.
man.
It's the easiest thing all day.
That's great, dude. Really appreciate it, man.
This is fun.
It is so much
I
fun.
told my son, I'm like, you do KFC, man.
Really? Does he know us?
Big sports
Yeah,
fan,
that's
you
awesome,
know,
man.
and,
I love hearing you're a Mets. I'm assuming you're a Knicks guy too.
right now, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they're playing tomorrow night, huh?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
this
they'll be
is
back.
this way.
Yeah.
The-
You got it on upside down?
One tree, two branches.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Two branches, one tree.
The roots are strong, the tree survives.
there you go. You want me to hold it for you?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
that
just
easier?
trying to think if I
Yeah.
sign it over.
Yeah, the bonsai trees, man. There's so much that I like that I can tie back to that movie that I didn't know.
Daniel's son on here.
You named your son Daniel, right?
Yep.
Was it? It was after.
Yeah. it was
After
a
that
big-
character?
A big
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
These things are cool sign, but it's hard to do.
Oh, no.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's on
That's
there.
fine.
It's also
And we
for
have it
Keegan.
on. We have the
Oh,
tape.
thanks, man.
We have
That's
the
awesome.
tape.
That's great, bro. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
he's Dan Macchio now.
Yeah.
First with New York Islanders. So
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
no kidding.
Awesome.
Yeah. So he's, he was the one I said, they sent me the request. He goes, Dad, you got to do this.
That's great, man. He should have come through. Bring him
Yeah,
through next time.
So,
Well, yeah. When this,
anyway.
when you're on the third or fourth iteration of this one, come back.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Really
A
appreciate
lot
it.
of fun. You guys are
Absolute
great.
pleasure to meet you.
All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Click that button.
Or I'll cut off my finger.